the back and enjoy the final top flight encounter of the weekend. It is a big one for all sorts of reasons for both teams. Ross County against Dundee United. Full live commentary here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with John Robertson and Paul Mitchell.
Thank you, Richard. Good afternoon, everyone. It is really lovely up here now. Dundee United will be wearing the white shirts with the tangerine shorts, white socks. Ross County in the traditional navy jerseys, the white shorts and red socks. Conor Randall and Ross Docherty come together in front of the sponsors board where they find referee Steve McLean. Handshake between them all, and Steve McLean picks up the coin, picks up the ball, and wanders across to Duncan Nicholson. The fourth official hands him the coin toss and just saying teams to change ends. So having been settled in his goal, Jack Walton and Jordan Amisa will meet in the middle and just decide to ignore each other as they wander past. Normally goalkeepers have a little handshake with each other. A very strange one, that. Ross County come together in a huddle. Dundee United are set in their position. Ross County one change. Noah Kenna is out. He drops onto the bench. Alex Samuel, who Don County told me trained brilliantly this week, is in, looks lively, looks alert. And for Dundee United, two changes from the side that lost at home against Dundee. Declan Gallagher injured in training this week. Alan Campbell drops onto the bench. Craig Sibbald and Ross Docherty, the two players who come in. Josh Nisbet, possibly the only Scottish Premiership football shorter than me, gets ready to take the kick-off. He's listed at 5'3". That might be on a good day. And he gets ready, wearing number 23, the Aussie, to get us underway. As the music fades in the background, Ross County from left to right underway on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Immediately play the ball long. Simple header away. Travanowski comes back against solid header by Ross Graham. And Dundee United try and bring the ball down. They do so. Docherty gets it moving. Tomkinson has to turn the ball away, thumps it out of play, and Don Cowie throws the ball in for Will Ferry to gather, almost directly in line with us in the commentary position. Ferry has a little look ahead to see what his options are. Tomkinson wins the jump, heads the ball out of play, and Will Ferry will gather another ball off the little cone and get ready for the throw. That's encouraged Ross Graham to come forward, take his place in the penalty box. This will be a long throw. Ferry all the way back to the advertising boards. Dundee United around 700 in the goal, being defended by the Ross County goalkeeper. Ball into the area, solid, headed away. Sybil gets it in again and just thumped clear. Malapata into the Dundee United half, taken down by Ryan Strain. It was an awkward one under pressure from Alex Samuel. Plays it back to Jack Walton. Walton takes the touch inside the penalty box and gets the ball away. Right footed, looked fairly unconvincing, picked up by Akil Wright. Wright has it, turns the ball back inside his own half onto Jonathan Tomkinson. Tomkinson plays it forward, doesn't get it past Ross Docherty. Conor Randall was in there, but it's going to be picked up by Middleton. Middleton plays the ball back to Ryan Strain. Sent long, looking for Stevenson. Stevenson flicks it back to Middleton. Lovely play. Dalby gets the ball out wide. Stevenson into the middle. Should be easily headed away by Tomkinson. It is. Dundee United just didn't have the players inside the box. Chivers will gather, lays the ball back, and just thump forward again. Ross County not finding an out ball, and it's picked up by Docherty. Docherty will lay the ball back onto Ross Graham inside his own half. Being closed down slowly, but he's going to have a little run forward and then sends the ball out to that right hand side. Strain is there, he's been invited to come on the inside. That's the turn, play it back to Stevenson. Stevenson will gather and play it back. Cheverge on the halfway line, and Dundee United holding on to the ball, waiting for the right pass. Graham again, not being closed down. Phillips now goes to close him down. Travanowski lays the ball back again. Don Cowie yelling at his men to close down better. Now it's launched long up to the edge of the box. Dalby was being held at the edge of the area, and Conor Randall gets the ball away. It takes a little bounce. Samuel goes up for it. Phillips won it. It's returned again by Dundee United. Graham played it forward, and now the opportunity for Sybil, but Sybil can't hold on to it. Akil Wright will gather, come through the centre circle. Akil Wright turns, almost runs into Sam Dalby. Instead plays it the other number 19, that's Eli Campbell. Left-hand side of the three. Campbell strides past Dalby, now launches the ball long. Easy take though for Ross Graham, knocks it away down onto Ryan Strain. Strain plays the ball forward. Stevenson round the corner to Middleton, over the halfway line. Dalby though runs into a little bit of trouble. Lopata stuck with him, emerges with the ball, now launches it down that left-hand side. Alex Samuel trying to go in there. Chevergy couldn't deal with it. Samuel has it down by the corner flag, backing his way towards the area. Pulls the ball back onto George Harman. Harman picks it out onto Connor Randall. 30 yards from goal. Randall thought about the 1-2, but Samuel kept it at the edge of the area. It's on to Josh Nisbet. Nisbet has a little look, sees Akil Wright wide of him. That's where it goes. Wright picks the ball up, but he's being driven away from goal. Now in the midfield. Wright gathers again, looks to reset, plays it inside. On to Connor Randall. Connor Randall back onto Lapata. Lapata out to Tompkinson, halfway line. 0-0 so far. Here's Nisbet. Very bit early. Nisbet's got himself away. Into the edge of the box, plays it in. Real chance. There was no Chilvers at the edge of the area. His shot was blocked, and now Dundee United can bring the ball away. It's Glenn Middleton on that far side. Middleton steps on the inside. Lifts the ball. Travanowski outside the box on the left-hand side. Will gather. He'll attack Wright. Tries to go on the outside. Wright makes the challenge. Ball goes behind. It comes back off Travanowski. We've played 4 minutes, and finally John Robertson can say something.
I was just enjoying listening to your dulcet tones there. What a fast start to the game. You know, it's as we expected. County going long. Initially, United playing slightly more controlled football. Lovely little link-up play. But as you rightly pointed out, well, there was nobody in the middle. You know, Moult and Middleton had gone and done the hard work. Trapanosi's got to get in. The midfield men like Sybil, they've got to get forward. They didn't get there. County break. That's a good chance for Chilvers. You know, Nisbet's done well. It's cleared to the edge of the box, and with Chilvers' striking ability, you'd expect him to at least work the goalkeeper here. But very, very lively start indeed.
Ross Graham towers the ball forward, drops into the midfield. Glenn Middleton, centre spot, plays it out wide. Ryan Strain is there. Strain turns, plays it back on the inside onto Ross Doherty. Doherty feeds Trapanowski on this left-hand side. Takes the touch. He had Ferry in support, but he's forced backwards towards the halfway line. Takes the touch and a turn made his North Macedonian international debut this week, so he'll be absolutely buzzing. The ball is back with Ross Graham. Graham gathers. Chevergy sits and plays the ball out wide onto Ryan Strain. It's not his natural position, Vigo Chevergy, and he will do what he can. Ball's out of play. Let me run you through the team. Jordan Amisa is in goal, just signed a new deal, so he's going to be a long-term goalkeeping option for Ross County. Tompkinson, Lapata and Campbell, Harman, Nisbet, Randall and Wright, Chilvers supporting Samuel and Phillips. Throw-in yet to be taken, so Dundee United, Jack Walton in goal. It's Strain, Chevergy, Graham and Ferry, Stevenson, Sibbald and Doherty, Travanowski and Middleton will exchange wings, and Sam Dalby is the man through the middle. Stretching back, Lapata wins the header and plays it back to his goalkeeper, who bowls the ball out. Tompkinson down the side onto Akil Wright. Wright took a chance against Ferry and lost out. Dalby comes across, wins the ball, they get taken down. It was lovely beat from Sam Dalby. It's a free kick, 30 plus yards from goal, left hand side.
Yes, it's only the second time I've seen Dalby, and I'm actually amazed at how big he and Ross Graham are. I'd seen Graham earlier in the season, and again you look at him today thinking, oh, County have got some big lads at the back, but dearie me, they're bigger, but you say wonderful feet. Dalby, you know, quick feet, drew the free kick here, and with Ferry and the likes of Middleton and the team, the quality could be decent. It's going to have to be, because to say County are a big side.
Well, Ferry looking to deliver. Where's 11? Left full back this afternoon. Graham has drifted. He's the furthest back for Dundee United. The ball is whipped in. It's headed high in there. Graham goes after it. He falls down. The defender falls down as well. Chevergy has it centred out wide. It's poked back into the middle. All sorts of bodies flying in trying to get there. No Chivers gets the header away. Breaks to the edge of the box. Taken down by Sibbald. Sibbald sends the ball back out wide. Travanowski trying to take on Nisbet. Does so. Plays the ball in. Headed away by the captain Randall, but it breaks to Middleton at the edge of the area. Middleton was almost taken down there. That was clumsy by Phillips, but he ran outside the box in the end. Pulls the ball back onto Ferry. There's a shout for handball in there as the ball gets knocked away. Ross County have got plenty of bodies, John Robertson, but they're struggling to get any meaningful clearance. And as I say that, they've just lost it again. Strain flicks the ball down onto Doherty. Doherty will play it back. Troubling times here for County.
Yeah, United have got a grip of the game, there's no doubt about that, but the problem United have got is that Jim Goodwin's obviously wanting his wide men to stay really wide, but that means there's no support to Sam Dalby down the middle, and if you are going to keep out there and let United, let Ross County's wing backs pick up the wingers, then you must get the full-backs coming down and getting 2v1s, and that way the opposition, the opposite side of the pitch can get in midfield. It's up to Sibbald, etc., to get themselves into the box, because if your wide men are keeping chalk dust which they are at the moment, they're going to be holes for them to run into, and but they're not doing that at the moment. Now, you know, Stevenson and Sibbald, etc. They're, you know, Docherty, we know, sit, but those two have got to burst themselves to get into the box. Otherwise, it's a lone fight for Sam Dalby.
Ross County throw the ball in. Phillips tries to gathered on that left-hand side, still going, drifting inside his Chilvers, but can't find them with the pass. Harmon brushed off the ball as well. Now Dundee United emerge with it over the halfway line. It goes. Akil Wright read it well. Travanowski was furling him from behind. He goes down. It's a free kick just to the edge of the centre circle on the left-hand side. Jonathan Inusa will come forward, and he just waves everybody up. He's going to come forward and take it. Dundee United dropping their players so far, 0-0. Nearly 9 minutes gone here in Dingwall. Amisa has a little look, stretch and play the ball with his right foot, launches it up to the right hand side of the area, dropping down. Phillips won the header. Akil Wright goes after it again. Akil gets the second header. Shiverji got the ball away. Ball breaks outside the box on this right hand side, played back. Lapata into the middle it goes. Good header away. Shiverji on that occasion breaks down to Middleton at the edge of the area. Might have shown too much of that to Harmon. Harmon almost got away, but Strain recovered well, and then Chilvers strong in the tackle as well, and Ross County starting to bite back.
Yeah, both teams say are never going to be short of people in there fighting for the ball, but I'd say, you know, tactically County will feel okay about it, because you see Akil Wright's keeping an eye on Trapanowski out here. That's Jim obviously wants to with it, but if you go look at the distance between Trapanowski and Ferry, there's like 30 yards with nobody there. So when they get the ball, it's vital that United's fullbacks lend a hand.
Conor Randall from Nisbet in the midfield, drags it back centre circle. Tompkinson picks up. Jonathan Tompkinson, the American, plays the ball forward, looking for the Aussie. Nisbet can't get on the end of it. It's cleared by Ferry. Trapanowski brings the ball down, beautifully lay off by Dalby. But again, Tompkinson comes back, does well. Well, Lapata has been a real good sign and good at the heart of the defence for Ross County. Back to the goalkeeper, Jordan Amisa. Amisa rolls the ball out to the pole, gets the ball on his right foot, looks long, goes long. Should be an easy one for Graham. He's done so. He heads the ball forward. Stevenson loses out to Conor Randall. It's going to break up there. Now, Alex Samuel is all over Ryan Stray there. Wasn't even close. Free kick.
That's what he does. I said before, he's one of these guys that causes chaos. You know, it's not always predictable, it's not always tidy. You know, he's just one that he's strong. You know, he gets his backside into people, he throws his arms into people and uses his strength to grip them, and he'll fight for everything. They'll not get a minute's peace back there at all. Seldy and Graham, no chance they're going to get a minute's peace, because he's going to be about them. But listen, the game's what we thought. County they do go long to begin with. They go very direct. United are playing the slightly better football, but neither team are taking a real chance at the moment. As I said, United need their fullbacks to get forward and help out, and they need their midfield players to burst into the box. County need to get support to the front too. Neither team have done that in the attacking sense just yet.
And United building down the right hand side. Middleton lays it up to the edge of the area, because Stevenson, whose jersey's already a mess from sliding on the ground. There's a possible penalty. It's Nisbet. Dalby went down. The referee was in a great angle. There was then a shot up and over the top. They will hold things just to double check it, but Sam Dalby felt he was touched before the ball was touched close.
I don't think so. I mean, you look at his reaction, he's not dived. There might be slight contact, but I don't think enough for a penalty. I think Steve McLean's call is 100% correct. He's laid it off. It's actually a big chance at the edge of the box there. He should possibly have hit the target, but you can see from players' reactions, Dalby went down but immediately got up and as if to say no, it was just my momentum took me over. So good refereeing and good honesty from Sam Dalby.
Yeah, good positioning by referee Stephen McLean. Cleared on first look by VAR. Launched long from the goalkeeper. Samuel chests the ball down, clipped to the side on the left hand side by Noah Chilvers. Chilvers plays it on to George Harmon. Harmon under pressure from Middleton, gets away from him, plays it back to Chilvers. Chilvers going the outside of Docherty and Strain. He's way on that outside, tries to drag the ball across. Has he played it off the Dundee United man? Simple answer is no. It's going to be a goal kick to Dundee United, but that draws some applause from Don Cowie down below. Dundee United unbeaten in both this season against Ross County. 1-1 here, 3-0 at Tannadice, and a bright start here.
Yeah, listen, it's a competitive game. We expect that, and we've said at the top of the the programme, how vital it is for both teams to get a result, and they're both laying their markers down and say, you know, will be difficult to beat, and you expect that from these two teams. They will be difficult to beat. County have a big strong back five with a couple of sitters in midfield there, and United are notoriously difficult to break down. Yes, a 4-3-3 when they attack, but it's a 4-5-1 in the defence, so it's going to take something a little bit special, or a mistake, as we always say, sometimes when the game's that close and that tight. And that was the first opportunity. You know, Dalby laid it off. It was a wonderful opportunity, 19 yards out, coming onto it, but just got underneath it and struck over the bar.
Alexander lays the ball off to Nisbet. Nisbet fires it in, came off the arm of Ferry, but it was tucked in by his side, so absolutely nothing wrong with that. Dundee United clear. Dalby plays it back to Ferry. Ferry launches it long. Lucas Stevenson's made the run. It's going to be a header back. It was a little bit short. Stevenson comes in. The referee has a little look. Stevenson, was he wiped out? The referee says no, the ball's gone behind. Well, they came together so quickly. It was a horrible mistake at the back for Ross County.
Wow, I think this is a penalty for me. Yes, he's got through. Yes, he's got a great chance. Should score. Yep. He just needs to lift it over the keeper. But goodness me, Amisa wipes him out. It has to be, you know, for me, the goalkeeper's wiped him out. Now, you could say, well, he's had his shot and therefore he missed it, therefore it's momentum. They may say that it's momentum coming straight through, but that certainly is worth a look. But it looks like the Docherty is getting explained to now that they've allowed the chance to go. Steve McLean seems to tell them that he's had the chance, and that they're saying, it would appear, lip reading here, that it was the keeper's momentum that took him in. That
is a big call. VAR this afternoon. Greg Aitken, Jonathan Bell, the assistant. But I'm with you, John. Immediately that sharp intake of breath as Amisa came out and wiped out Stevenson. I mean, the argument is if the ball lands in the net, it's in, it's a goal. He's done what he had to do.
Listen, he should score. There's no doubt he should score. But he didn't score, and therefore you've then got to look at the second part of it. Is did the keeper, you know, he's not going to get to the ball a second time. It's not like he's knocked it past him and went after it. So I can totally understand, you know, and we want to set the bar as high as possible. But listen, we've seen them given is probably the best way to describe that one.
0-0 so far. BBC Radio Scotland, as always, following Scottish football. Ferry picks up, driving forward for Dundee United, taken down by Chilvers, just caught him on the heel, and Ferry goes down. Chilvers not impressed with the decision, but it certainly was the right one, not too far away from us. Josh Nisbet is taking his time giving the ball back, and he's telling Chilvers to go and mark Travanowski, who's out wide on the left-hand side. But again, this is where Will Ferry can be dangerous. The 24-year-old for Bury, former Republic of Ireland under-21 international player, got a lovely left foot. He's got plenty of targets. Lucas Stevenson up there, Sam Dalby, and Ross Graham again, the furthest player back. Ferry plays it into the middle, headed away. Lapata comes out to Trapanowski outside the box, faced up by Nisbet, lays the ball back onto Glenn Middleton. Middleton onto Craig Sibbald at the edge of the area, just being pushed back by Chivers, but he just manages to get past him. Again, plays it back out wide. Trapanowski back onto Sibbald. Sibbald has a little look, whips the ball in. Amisa comes and gathers, bolts his way into some free space, but decides not to play it quickly.
Yeah, if you're going to put them in, they have to be whipped in there, and anything 6, 8 yards out, Amisa normally comes, and he saw the gap there. He just moved out in front of big Ross Graham and took it very, very comfortably indeed.
Kacper Lapata, former Polish under-21, plays the ball on the inside to Tompkinson. Tompkinson can't make anything happen. It's returned to him. He's very solid on the challenge there against Trapanowski. Ross County play the ball back to the goalkeeper. Towering ball drops back into view. Gone past the stand sight line as the opportunity for Ross County to build down the left-hand side comes through the number 19, Eli Campbell. Campbell to Chivers, but Ryan Strain is picked up. Strain plays it back to Sibbald. Sibbald plays it forward onto Stevenson. Stevenson under pressure from Randall, gets the ball down to Dalby. Dalby can't hold on to it, the ball bouncing around in the midfield. Middleton on his knees. I was tempted to see he still looked taller than Nisbet, who then goes in and wins the ball. It's a free kick.
That's shocking. I mean, I got stick for saying that Josh Nisbet brought down County's average height from 6'5" to 5'8".
He's short, but he's sturdy. Trapanowski curls the ball in too far.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. And he's certainly making an impact in Scottish football. Trapanowski just sending that one just a little bit wide. But Dundee United, no goals so far. 18 minutes, scored 14 goals in the last 3 Scottish Premiership matches. They've been outscored by 9 goals to 5. The only point they've picked up was against Aberdeen. Of course, 6 goals in the Derby match at Tanner Ice. They were on the wrong side of a 4-2 defeat. Of course, they led Aberdeen by 2-0 as well. So goals haven't necessarily been a problem. It's keeping them out at the other end that's been the issue for Dundee United. Long from Amisa, headed out of play. It's going to be a throw into Ross County, 10 yards inside the Dundee United half. Harman goes to retrieve the ball, and then told by referee Steve McLean that's far enough. Looks to throw the ball in. Nisbet makes himself available. Chivers as well. Chivers still calling for it, but it's thrown forward. Flicked on by Alex Samuels. Solid header away by Chivergi. Chivergi plays it away, but it's taken down by Chivers. Dundee United is a man down on that far side, just off the ball, and the free kick is awarded. Again, they're just stealing the ball, so Dundee United can't take it quickly.
Yeah, United have been a little bit sharper around the ball, around the breakdown of the play. But I say that both teams are difficult to break down. That's the aspect of it at the moment. That, you know, it's what we expected. It's a tight, well-fought match. United are showing that little bit more quality in the ball at the moment, it has to be said. Dalby's holding the ball up and he's getting Trapanowski and Middleton are getting to him. Stevenson looks like he's in one a bit further forward. So far, you know, Samuel's been busy. Phillips has not been in the game. Chilvers, you know, half chance. So that's been the story of it. I mean, we could, you know, the whole of the game basically has been played in the space between the two 18-yard lines. There's a half chance for County from 20 yards for Chilvers, and then a really good chance for United from 20 yards. So nobody's, you know, brought the goalkeepers into play yet. I don't think the United keepers had a touch. He may well do so in the next 30 seconds, but
he might have to, because Phillips has picked up just outside the box. He's taken on Graham, gets the ball across just too far ahead of Alex Samuel, who'd taken up good position, but Jack Walton stayed on his line, allowed the ball to come across, and Dundee United get it away and play it off Conor Randall. It's going to be a throw into Ross County, Dundee United just by the halfway line. That was a good ball, and Phillips was getting himself away on that.
Yeah, again, but I think, as I say, that it's cagey so far, and you look at that, it's exactly what we said from United's point of view was the same for County there. One of their strikers, Phillips, has peeled into a wide area. He's done very, very well, and it's actually not a bad ball. It's a decent enough ball, and it's just too far and too high ahead of Alex Samuels, but nobody else even close to get in the box. Chilver's probably 25 yards out. Your midfield men and your opposite wing back, no chance that they're getting up, and that's kind of been the way so far. It's like, well, we'll go forward, but we'll keep, you know, our back 4 and 5 for each team staying back. The midfield sitters, 2 on each side, sitting back. It's up to these guys in front of us to go and do it, and so far neither team's really showing that bit of quality to open up the others.
Ross County just 31 goals in 30 league matches this season, and they've found 51 going in the other direction, and that's why they're currently 9th in the table. Not been a good weekend for the teams down at the bottom. Kilmarnock, Dundee, St Johnstone all losing. Ross County could find some points today as the offside flag goes up. It'll be a real boost for them. The ball is not back for Jack Walton, who finally gets some work to do, and that's to come out and take the free kick for the offside call. Sets the ball all in yellow, Jack Walton. And from Bury, same as Will Ferry. And looks to deliver into Ferry's area. One Bury man to another. Ferry plays it forward. It's easily picked up by Nisbet and Chilvers. Chilvers trying to get away from Doherty. Doherty steps in front of him, wins the ball. Nicely done on to Sybil. Sybil opens it up for Stevenson. Stevenson is strained down the side. Goes on to Glenn Middleton, being closed down. Trying to get inside Campbell, then goes on the outside of him. Campbell goes down, slides the ball out of play. It's a corner kick to Dundee United.
Yep, then that's part of the reason Jim will want his wide men to stay there, because it's a 1v1 opportunity. Middleton's took him on there. It looked at he was wanting to get back on his left foot, but he decided to take the right, and he's very good at doing that as well. And he managed to get there, but Campbell, he's been impressive this year. The lad on loan from Everton defended the ball very well there. Yeah,
he's a tall player, very good player indeed. Manchester born, on the books of Everton. As Middleton hooks the corner and we saw gathers. It was dropping, gathered it easily, but it's one of these ones, John, if the right person's there, that's just a tickle into an unguarded net.
It is, because it's quite deep. I mean, he's taking that a couple of yards from his back post and a couple of yards out, and if somebody's coming in the back area and goes in there, because you say he's not taking up near. I mean, if he takes up near, he's taking it over the crossbar height, but that was right into his chest, so it's about 6 foot. If somebody could have just nipped in front of him, but it was good goalkeeping again from the big lad.
Elizabeth wins the header, but only as far as Strain over the halfway line. Campbell heads the ball out of play. You mentioned Eli Campbell. One of the hardest things to do when you're looking for loan players is to find somebody, that somebody's prepared to let go, but is of a sufficient quality that is going to work for you. I mean, we've seen some defenders come up from England that are very rough and ready. He looks a bit more composed.
Yeah, he's been that all season. He started off in a left back and a back four, and very comfortable there, and then they went to a back five, and he's played left wing back, so he's shown a versatility and athleticism. But he's been really, really good as the left side of the three. He's kicked on, and you're right what you're saying. Sometimes you can get lads who come up and low, and you're thinking, are they ready for it yet? Are they at the desired level? But he's taken it like a duck to water. And you see at the other end, Sam Dalby's come up from Wrexham, completely different aspect of it. But he's come up because he wants to play games, and that's what you're after. Can these guys come in on loan hit the ground running? Because we've all heard it in the past where English players think Scottish football is going to be easy. It's anything but.
Exactly. He's no Chilvers. One of these players experiencing Scottish football, plays it forward, takes the deflection. Graham tries to keep it in, comes out wide, it's sent right down the middle. Nisbet almost bullies Stevenson out the way. He's got the ball down to Phillips. Phillips is in there, drops the ball onto his right foot, very edge of the box, right hand side, lays the ball back to Chilvers. Chilvers gets it back to Tompkinson, round the side it goes. Akio right this time, sends it short. Chilvers trying to go on the outside. There's no way past Will Ferry. It's going to be a throw in to Ross County, and these are the attacking moments that Don Cowie's hoping for his side.
Yeah, and you'll find as well here as Campbell comes across another part of his arsenal is he's got this is tactics made a comeback. I've never seen so many teams have a long throw, not just one, some of them have got two long throw specialists, and this has been fruitful for County this season. They launch it in there, they say they've got some big lads, and I think the last time they done it was the Littlest one. It was Nisbet, it dropped and he fired one in.
So Eli Campbell emerges, launches long, good discipline, the header, one of the back posts. Alex Samuel goes in. What makes the save? Terrific goalkeeper. He came across. Alex Samuel landed in the back of the net. The ball didn't. Walt managed to get the block.
That's a huge chance. It's a huge chance. Just as we were saying, and by the way, it's been controversial because I think Eli Campbell was about a yard on the pitch there when he threw that, and the linesman didn't spot it. Brilliant flick on, and Alex Samuel does everything right, but what a save from Jack Walton.
Here's Nisbet now driving forward, 20 yards from goal, tries to lay it in into Phillips, and the ball was played away by Ross Graham. Travanowski sends the ball across. Dalby trying to gather it. Dalby heads the ball forward. Tompkinson comes in, wins it, taken down. That's going to be a free kick. I watched Dundee against Rangers yesterday, and it was Aaron Donnelly who was taking the long throws. I mean, it looked at times he was landing in Tannadice the way he was coming onto the field.
Honestly, I mean, I've seen him in the past. I go showing my age here, and I'm pretty sure only Richard Gordon in the studio will remember this one, but Eric Shadler was the one initially who could just about from the halfway line throw it in there. But over the years, Robbie Nielsen, who was an Exocet missile, could launch about 40 odd yards, 45 yards, he could launch it. But of late, especially this season, every single team seems to have, I mean, even Rangers yesterday, James Tavernier was throwing long balls in, and it's become really, really successful for sides. You've seen Ferry today, and there was Campbell launching it in there, and I say, we say that Jack Walton's not had a touch. What a first touch that is, what a save, because that really should have been 1-0 County.
Brilliant save from the goalkeeper. He's been active, but when he was called upon after 25 minutes, he made that save. 0-0 so far. Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland. I'm Paul Mitchell. John Robertson, former Scotland internationalist, alongside me. As the ball is out of play, it's going to be a Dundee United throw. It is really competitive. There's not a lot of time on the ball. No.
Listen, of all the games at the weekend, we've seen a plethora of goals in there, lots of goals. But you looked at this one and thought, you hope it was going to be another goal fest. But when you look at the makeup of the teams, it's not, you've expected this one probably to be the tightest game of the weekend. But listen, in saying that, nobody would have expected St Mirren to smash 5 goals past Kilmarnock, and you know, they'll be looking at this thinking, well, if there's a draw here, they're the big winners at the weekend, because you know the top 4 have won, and then the 3 of the bottom 4 have lost, and they've popped right onto the back of not just Hearts, but also the back of Dundee United and Motherwell, above Motherwell.
Yeah, this could be a really good afternoon for Ross County. It's 0-0 so far. There's been goals in the last 33 meetings of these sides in all competitions. You have to go back to September the 14th, 2012, which was a Friday night when they last served up a 0-0. Phillips wins the header, drives through. Chiverdi manages to get the ball away inside onto Graham. Graham clips it over the halfway line, but it's picked up by Jonathan Tompkinson. Tompkinson drives forward. Lovely little ball onto Alex Samuel. Samuel plays it out wide. Here's Akio Wright. Wright goes past Strapanovsky. Plays the ball in the middle. Here's Samuel. Turns, tries to get the spin. That was interesting. Chiverdi got the block. It goes behind. We're right behind that. That might have crept in.
Good spell for County. You know, they've picked up there from that chance from Alex Samuel. He's got himself in there again. Lovely little turn, and it's a good strike. It's arrowing towards that left-hand corner. We were looking at keeper's right. It's well blocked by Felche, but you know, could it have been on target? Yes, I think there's every likelihood it could have been. And as I said, Don Cowie said Alex Samuel has been buzzing about in training, and he's certainly been the most dangerous striker on the pitch so far.
Harmon plays it in. Campbell might have been pushing Dalby, and the referee agrees. If I can spot it from here, I think Steve McLean could spot it from where he was. Just completely got the jump wrong.
And that's another aspect today. I think, you know, we can be quite critical of officials at times for the way, but Steve McLean's been bang on. He's let the game flow. There's been a couple of nice tackles in the middle of the park, and he's let the game breathe. He's let them play on, and he's caught the one that we possibly could have been a penalty with Dalby. No, he was in the perfect position to see it. The other one is, say, it's worth a conversation. Yeah, no, it's momentum. Did the keeper take him out in natural momentum, or was he just that little bit later? He said no, and the VAR have backed him up, and I can understand that why. But he saw that one as well. It was a lunging attempt to get a header there from Lapata, but he's called it right. So he's refereed this. As we say, it's a feisty little game out there, but he's refereed it really well so far.
Ball knocked out of play. Panorski was almost down on his knees trying to play the ball. He wasn't giving up. Well, there was Lucas Stevenson alongside him. Stevenson earns his side to throw. It's going to be an opportunity. And again, Ferry comes over from the left-hand side to the right-hand side for this long throw. I think officials are going to start looking at where players land, because I think there are one or two that are stretching the legality of the throw. Will Ferry right against the advertising boards, throws in. He was certainly moving as he got the ball in. The batter heads away down to Sybil, deflected, solid header away, comes back again. There was a nudge in the back of Harmon. It's played through. Dalby with a chance, fell to him, and the ball is up and over. I thought it took a deflection. It should have been a corner.
It should be at least a corner. I don't think there's any doubt about that there. It was again the long balls causing mayhem. The first shot from Sybil's deflected. There's another shot blocked. It falls for Dalby there, and by the way, I think that's a magnificent block. Possibly from Tompkinson or Campbell, managed to get a foot to that, because it's on target and it should have been a corner kick.
Yeah, my first reaction as well, there was an intervention there, but the referee didn't spot it on that occasion. And the referee is saying, hold on, they want to check something. There was an awful lot of action in that area, potential handball. So there is more work to do for the VAR officials, Craig Aitken and Jonathan Bell, his assistant. Conor Randall is across having a little word with Steve McLean. He's just explaining to the Ross County captain what's happening. Of course, captains only can interact with the referee to get the dialogue going. Dundee United players looking around themselves. Well, Dundee United...
Again, there's no... the claims that Dundee United players were for the corner. That was the thing. You know, I mean, it's no... I don't even know why we even looked at it, because there's never a handball there in respect. It might have clipped somebody, but not in any way. There wasn't an arm lying out, but it certainly should have been a corner. But as I say, we crack on.
Well, a trio of penalty checks, all called correctly by the match officials. That will please them at the SFA. Although Joe Robertson wants another look at the one where Amisa comes out and wipes out Stevenson. Ball gets thrown in and headed away Lapata. Ball bouncing around the halfway line. Eventually will come down to earth. Doherty plays it forward onto Dalby. Dalby gets the flick across, and Lapata says to his goalkeeper, you come and gather.
The reason the second one's debatable is if that's anywhere else on the pitch, it's a foul. If somebody lobs it over him and somebody gets wiped out like that. But I get it. I get the official view will be, well, look, he could have and probably should have scored by lobbing the keeper, and his momentum's taking him out. But as I say, if it's just momentum and he's battered into him, fair enough. But it's one of these ones that we debate over the places that, if that happened in the box, if that happened anywhere else on the pitch, it would have been a foul. Yes. But as I say, it doesn't detort from the fact that Stevenson really should have scored.
Yeah, that was a golden chance. Long ball forward by the goalkeeper, been headed behind by Dundee United, so Ross County have a corner from the left-hand side. Lapata is up, Tompkinson is back. Dundee United see Alex Samuel inside the 6-yard box. He's being marshalled by Docherty. Little shuffle step, the ball comes in. Was knocked in by Campbell and turned behind once more. That almost worked. No, Chilvers took an awful lot off that corner.
I think it was one of the good bad ones. That area of the pitch is very, very soft. You can see where the county keepers warmed up beforehand, and that area up the G line seems to be just a little bit softer than the rest of the pitch. I think Chilvers is struggling with his footing over there, but he never quite caught that one. But as you said there was a little flick on from Campbell, and then it nearly dropped for Alex Samuel.
Harmon's out there as well. Harmon could go with the left, but it's going to be Chivers going to play with the right. The in-swinger in. Chivergi wins the header. Headed back in again. Grazes off the head of Phillips. Might fall for right. Could play again. Chivergi manages to get the ball away. I know one or two Dundee United fans not really thrilled to see him named at the back this afternoon, but he's not put a foot wrong so far.
Yeah, so far he's been excellent. There's no doubt about that. I'm saying he doesn't look the biggest, but that's only because he's standing next to Rose Graham. But no, he's at least 6 foot, 6'1". But he's won his headers. He's probably the right build of centre back to try and deal with Alex Samuel, because Alex Samuel will get in about you and throw it. But he seems quite a strong central defender there as well. But no, you've called it on, Paul. I think he's been excellent so far. He's done everything that's been asked of him.
0-0 so far, BBC Radio Scotland on a Sunday afternoon. After a really exciting Saturday, we'll try and bring you some goals here. Alex Samuel sliding outside the box, left-hand side. Chivergi did well, turns, wins the ball, knocks it into the crowd. And George Harmon says, let's get things moving. Says to Noah Chivers, I'll take it. But he's ignored, and the ball's played in onto Campbell. Campbell into the middle. Another diving header. Chivergi down onto Stevenson. Stevenson plays it long. Dalby's trying to get the better of Lapata. Does so. Lapata stumbled. Dalby has it. Trapanovsky gets the ball played to him 20 yards from goal. Brings it back on the right foot. Well blocked, Tompkinson. I think Dundee United may have butchered that chance slightly, but it's still had to be defended. Tompkinson goes in again. Akil Wright gets the touch, and it's out of play.
Well, what an opportunity. Lapata slips. We said the pitch can be a bit soft there. Sam Dalby plays it far, far too early. What he's got to do there, he's got to drive towards goal, commit the other Ross County central defender over, and once he comes over, then roll it into Trapanovsky. What he done was he passed it right away, so the Ross County central defender didn't have to engage him. He gave him a chance to get back up and square Trapanovsky at the edge of the box and managed to block the shot. But if he just driven in towards goal, committed the central defender, he could have opened up a real opportunity for the winger.
Glorious opportunity for Dundee United. We await the opening goal in this one. Dundee United have struggled away from home. Last one away on the 11th of January, 1-0 at St Mirren. Since then, just 1 draw and 4. As Nisbet causing a problem. Gets some help from Conor Randall. Ball gets sent forward. Phillips traps the ball beautifully. Sadly for him, it's out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Dundee United. Our match officials this afternoon, David Dunn, Andy Milne, and the two assisting Stephen McLean. And Ross Graham deciding he's in absolutely no hurry to play that. Will Ferry come back and get the throw? Again, very slippy down the line. You can see a lot of the stud marks where players have slipped. And Ferry goes in, plants the feet, gets the ball forward, doesn't get it past Tompkinson though. Sybil rises up, wins the header, down onto Dalby. Ball over the halfway line, might break for Phillips. Phillips sends it onside onto Chivers. Chivers steps up well, clips a beautiful ball over the head of Middleton. Send it out wide onto George Harmon. Harmon on that far side. Harmon delivers, it's deep, it's too deep, it's going to take a bounce and come outside the area. Akil Wright is there, right up against Trapanovsky, holds onto the ball by the corner flag. Trapanovsky wins it well and then just can't quite get the clearance away, but he touches it out of play. It's going to be a throw. It's going to be a long throw.
It's going to be that. Sometimes, is it better to give away a corner there? But no. Listen, he done great initially and won the ball off Akil Wright, and then just slipped and knocked it out. But as you say, Campbell will load up. You see Lapata's up there, Akil Wright's up there, Tomkinson's moved in, Phillips is there, Samuel's floating about, so they'll certainly throw it in there.
Dundee United everybody back inside their area. Campbell, long throw, bounces down. Good play from Dundee United. Graham and Cheverdi both went for it. Graham got the touch, comes outside the box. Chilvers is there. Chilvers tries the byline, batters the ball across, came off Ferry, hit the assistant referee, who didn't flinch as he raised his flag. The ball comes into the box, picked up by Samuel. Samuel back on to Campbell. Campbell sends the ball inside. Chilvers going for the byline, blocked by Dalby, goes behind. Corner kick to Ross Kenty. Enjoying a good little spell here, John Robertson.
Yep, they certainly are. They've battled their way back into the game there, and got to say, good strength from the assistant referee there. I think it's David Dunn. Must have been in the gym there, because as you said, he didn't flinch. The ball cracked into him and just moved on, no problem.
I think I would have been doubled in agony if that had hit me. Here's the opportunity from the corner. Played in, chance at the back post. It was missed though by Campbell. The ball drifts behind. What a chance that was for Eli Campbell.
Well, we've said that one of the big, pieces of ammunition that Ross County have got is their set plays. Harman and Chilvers. That was a magnificent ball there. Harman's whipped it in there. It's gone right, 4 or 5 yards out, right across there. Missed by 2 or 3 people. And even Lapata at the back was surprised it's reached him. It was head height. You'd expect someone from the county persuasion to try and get on the end of it. That'll frustrate Don Cowie, and Jim Goodwin will be thinking, we dodged one there, because none of his boys could get a touch on it either.
Remains 0-0 half time. 6 minutes away. Alex Samuel goes down under the challenge of Ross Docherty, United captain. It's the last 3 games, Ross Docherty. And he's back again for an 8th start of the season. The ball played up to the edge of the area. Wright wins the header, drops inside the one to Graham. Ball comes down, picked up by Chilvers. Tomkinson there. Somebody's phone is certainly not on silent to our right-hand side. As Chilvers gets the ball away from Sybil. Sybil tried to recover. He tried to beat him again, and Sybil came back and made the challenge. It was on John for him to drive on.
Yeah, I thought for one moment he looked as if he was thinking about a left foot shot. It's not his strongest foot, and I think he realised that he was still just that bit, 25, 26 yards, just that wee bit too far out to maybe take it on with his weaker side. But he just allowed that little delay, allowed Sybil. Do we know what Craig Sybil's all about? He got back there and got the tackle in, and United cleared the danger.
Decent goal scoring record now, Chilvers with Colchester. 24 goals across 6 seasons, just short of 200 appearances. So he does have goals in him, as Dundee United run the ball out of play on that far side. Goals earlier on this season, it was 1 apiece when the teams met here. David Babinski and Ronan Hale both scoring their first league goals for the respective teams. Ronan Hale getting an equaliser just in stoppage time. Will Ferry heads the ball forward. Tomkinson came in up against Trapanowski, wins the ball well, tries to scuttle down this left-hand side, pulls the ball back for Will Ferry. Ferry heard the call from Docherty. Docherty clips it up to the edge of the area. Conor Randall wins the header. It's on to Alex Samuel. Samuel lays it off. It's too short. Picked up by Docherty. On to Stevenson. Stevenson plays it out wide. Danger here for County. Glenn Middleton's on the ball. Surrounded by 3. Tries to break through. Lapata almost caught his toe. The ball goes behind. Corner kick.
He just didn't want to take on his right foot. There's another chance. It was good play. Good initial play there, and they've worked it to Middleton. I wonder, can he just open up and smack it with his right foot? Just take a chance and rifle one across the face of the goals, but he allowed the county defenders to double up with him and snuff out the chance.
Took the quick corner, it didn't work. The ball's been launched back forward. Phillips goes in. Travanowski, brilliant sliding tackle to win the ball. Works the interchange with Graham. Graham plays it down the side. Travanowski is there, the North Macedonian. Ball onto the right foot, not a great ball in. And Akil Wright clears it. Sybil brings the ball down away. Feather touch to bring it down, and then a heavy touch to send it out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Ross County. These players need half time. They look shattered.
They do. Listen, they've put everything into it. Both teams are giving nothing away. They're asking no quarter, they're giving no quarter. And a wee bit of homework for Richard here. I don't think there's much to separate them. In terms of possession, it must be fairly even. Shots at goal, fairly even. There's been one glorious chance each. We had Alex Samuel's effort saved. We had Lucas Stevenson lobbing it over the bar. There's been a couple of efforts from the edge of the box that have flown over. So I'd imagine possession will be fairly even. Shots at goal will be fairly even. Shots on target, fairly even. And they're fairly even in the bookings because there's not been any.
Our voice of John Robertson here on BBC Radio Scotland. Lucas Stevenson for Dundee United plays the ball forward, headed away at the edge of the area. Stevenson ends up on the ground as Randall tries to play it through Ferry. Ferry wins the ball, breaks back onto Randall. Chevalier has a little bit of work to do as Alex Samuel closes him down, plays the ball back to Walton. Walton scoops it over the head of Ryan Strain, and George Harmer will get the opportunity to get the throw. 2.5 minutes plus any stoppage time that is required. It's the opportunity for Campbell. Campbell decides to play it back. Lopata is there. Lopata told to play it all the way back to Jordan Amisa. Amisa gets the ball forward. Long ball up towards the edge of the area. Chevalier heads it out wide. Harman steps back, brings it under control. Gets ready, plays the ball into the box. Chevalier gets the ball away up towards Lopata. Lopata sends it forward, but Sybil picked up. Now sends it out wide onto Middleton. Middleton and Dalby try to combine, and he's away from Lopata. There's an opportunity. 2 in the box for Dundee United. Middleton pulls the ball back onto his left foot. It's deflected. It goes behind. Again, just didn't want to take it with his right.
Yeah, and bizarrely, he done it earlier on in the game. He was showing the line and he took the line, and that's the one you're just thinking, you know, for the first time United had Stevenson, Sybil, Trapanovsky, Dalby all making their way into the box, and just put it in early. Put it in early and say, right, get on the end of it. The moment he just takes that second or two to check back on his left foot, it allows the county defenders to make up 2-3 yards, and it allows them to get in a position to stop the cross.
Corner kick for Dundee United. Delivered into the middle. Doherty with a header straight at the goalkeeper. Ross Graham tried to run across and get a little glancing touch on it. Didn't do so. And Jordan Amisa will gather.
Not a bad effort, to be fair. It's a good ball, good area. Ross Doherty's just come in behind the bigger lads there, and he's got his header on target and watched Jordan Amisa. So, as I say, listen, there's been very, very little between the sides. They both had little spells in the game where they've been on top. As we said, you know, Ross County play the more direct football, but just as dangerous. United a bit more controlled, but as I say, there's apart from the massive save from Walton at one end, and then also I still think Stevenson should score at the other end, and that's where we are.
Bodies flying as Wright keeps the ball in, plays it on to Chivers. Chivers outside the box, right hand side, plays it into the middle, picked up by Nisbet, showed too much of it to Chevalier. Chevalier hammers the ball clear. Conor Randall tries to pick up once more. Randall looks ahead, wants to play it to Wright, but Chilvers is in the way. Chilvers gets in touch, plays it on to Akio Wright, round the corner, on to Noah Chilvers. Chilvers, the man from Chelmsford, plays the ball across. 2 minutes to be played. Here's the American Tompkinson, wants the ball on the right foot. Well, he got himself to a great position, played it across to Nisbet, just didn't want to take the shot with his left. Ball gets pulled back. George Smith, 35 yards from goal, plays it on the angle. Tompkinson up. Ferry did well, just made sure that he couldn't rise. The ball drifts behind. It is going to be a goal kick, and we are in stoppage time.
I think that passage of play there probably sums up the first half, where it was really good play from Chilvers and Akio Wright. They got Tompkinson, showed brilliant feet there to you know, go in and step past a cutting left foot, and it's on to say, go and have a hit. And he just didn't want to take the chance, and I think that's what both teams have been so far, is that little bit that you need, that final piece of the jigsaw, the final bit in the last third to go on, I'm going to go and hit this, or I'm just going to put it in early, get on the end of that, or I'm going to strike one. They've just stayed off it. They've just been a wee bit cautious, and I think that's the reason we find ourselves at the moment 0-0.
Dundee United trying to come forward. Lucas Stevenson, a little head flick on Conor Randall, plays the ball away up to the halfway line. Alex Samuel tries to turn and right away from Graham. Graham did well just moments ago. Good refereeing by Steve McLean. Had a little word. Trapanovsky, as the free kick's going to be awarded, as Phillips was all over Chevalier. Yeah, Trapanovsky, the referee sought him out, just had a little quiet word, just saying he obviously had done something, just a nice quiet little warning to him.
Yeah, I think, as I said, we've said already, I think Steve McLean's refereed this game very well. It's been competitive, it's been fiery, there's a lot of physicality on show here, a lot of effort on show, and sometimes that can draw a late foul, but he's done it right. He's just had a nice quiet word in the ears. He's been in perfect position to call all the big decisions so far, and all credit to him. I think, you know, he's done what's required. He's kept the game flowing. He's not held up unnecessarily. He's had a quiet word with the captains when the VR's been going on, and as you said there, he just took time out, just, you know, wandered across an extra 10 yards of diagonal just to have a wee chat.
Half-time whistle goes in Dingwall. Ross County and Dundee United. It's the only match of the weekend in the top flight that has found no goals at the end of the first half. The 45th match of the Scottish Premiership season to be goalless at half-time. There's only been 9 0-0s. We're hoping it won't be 10. Half-time in Dingwall. Ross County 0, Dundee United 0.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Off the planet! What a strike! What a goal!
Catch Scotland in the Women's Nations League.
And it breaks for Lawton, who scores!
Scotland versus Germany lives here on Friday night.
Absolutely sensational finish. A stunning moment for Scotland at Hampden.
Watch on iPlayer, listen on digital radio, or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
We've got that one live from Tannadice on Friday night here on Sports Sound throughout the week, Monday to Friday, the Scottish Football Daily podcast. Wherever you pick up your podcast, do look out on Monday for the SPFL Lower League highlights. You get them online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. The SWPL highlights are on BBC Scotland channel at 7:30 tomorrow night. You will see highlights of the following: Partick Thistle 1, Aberdeen 2. Spartans have beaten Montrose by 3-2, coming from 2-0 down. Dundee United looking for comfortably for the win now, surely. 2-0 up against Queen's Park, an hour gone there. And Rangers are cruising to victory 4-0 against Hearts, Brogan Hay and Rio Hardy, with doubles in that one as things stand. Rangers back on top of the table, but Hibernian can reclaim top spot a little later when they take on Motherwell. A reminder that the SPFL Trust Trophy final, Queen's Park against Livingston, is live on BBC Alpa from 4:10. In the FA Cup this afternoon, Aston Villa have just closed out a 3-0 win away to Preston. So they join Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest in the semi-finals. Bournemouth take on Manchester City in the one remaining quarter. In terms of the question that John posed and the stats from the first half there, Ross County against Dundee United, it is goalless, and it is, as John suggested, pretty close. It's 52% possession for United. They've had 8 shots to County's 4. 1 shot on target for County, none for Dundee United. Big chances, it says, 1 apiece. 4 corners for County, 2 for United. The completed pass percentages 59 and 61 respectively, so it is pretty tight. I did ask John if he felt that we'd be continuing this goal glut that we got yesterday throughout the course of this afternoon. Well, right now 0-0. It's 33 games since these last two fought out a goalless draw. That was in the first ever league meeting between the sides in September 2012. It followed immediately back-to-back 0-0s in the Scottish Cup, which United eventually won through on penalties. But since those 3, not a single goalless draw. I've got to say, the chances have been at a premium, John, it's fair to say, in the first 45 minutes. It hasn't suggested so far that we are going to see a continuation of the heavy goal scoring from yesterday.
No, I think that is the perfect description.
Well, we'll move on then, will we?
That's it. Job done.
No, sorry about that.
Listen, it's everything we knew about both sides. They give nothing much away. You have to work really, really hard to get a goal against County in particular. Dundee United we know, and Jim Goodwin's teams for years really strong at the back, and you can see it sitting here, Richard, the way the game's panning out is they've both got two kind of sitting midfield players. County less so. They've got Randall that sits in front of the back 5. Nisbet will get forward. Chilvers will float in and out the game. The front two for County working really hard. Samuel Phillips not really been in the game. Samuel is putting himself about and had the real glorious opportunity for County. The flick on from the throw in. You're thinking he's going to score. It's a wonderful save from Jack Walton. Dundee United, we know what they're all about. It's a kind of 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3. They're keeping their wide men wide. They want to try and keep, they want to get their wingers on against the wing backs of County. But normally, Richard, when you play against a system like that, and you've got a back 4, you normally try and exploit. You play down one side, then get a quick switch and get 2v1. Get the full backs, so say Ferry and Trapanowski on this side, and Strain and Middleton on the other side. Try and get a 2v1 and get at them and get crossing. But the two full-backs for United are not getting forward. They're sitting saying no, we're not going to give him, we're not going to get caught in the counter here. We'll just sit here. So it's a bit of a stalemate. It's on to Lucas Stevenson to get forward. You've got Sibbald and Docherty sitting, so Stevenson's got forward, and he's had United's best chance. He's got through there. He should score. He just needs to. It's a big loon that he's got to lob, but he's got in there and he's lobbed it past the post. You'll have seen the pictures. There's certainly, I don't know if it is just momentum.
I've got to say, for me, it's not a penalty. I mean, Stevenson, you're right. Stevenson gets in behind, he's on the ball, he gets there first, he chips the keeper. I don't know where the keeper's supposed to go. I mean, the keeper is literally just trying to block the attempt, and Stevenson does get the attempt on goal. And momentum just brings the two players together. So for me, the Calder, and incidentally, the one before that, John, when Dalby goes down in the box, it's a clear dive. I mean, he should have been booked. That's the one thing that Stephen McLean's probably got wrong. He should have booked him for that.
On that, to be fair to Dalby, I think when he gets up, he signals to Stephen McLean it's not a penalty as well.
Well, that's fine, but he's already dived and tried to win the penalty.
But that's the thing, is that he's probably realised himself that as he's knocked it and gone down, he's thought, there's no contact there, and he's kind of tried to mitigate it by. He might have well done, as I say, sometimes aspect of it. If you're a County fan, you'll be wanting booked. So if he's dived, he's dived. If you're a United fan, you're saying, well, again, we talked that wonderful world today. Momentum, maybe it was where he was expecting contact, which didn't come, but he did kind of signal. Steve McLean was like, no, didn't make too much of it. Had a wee word with him from distance. As Paul pointed out, he had a great word with Trafanowski over something that had happened, and just he's kept a lid on things. But that's what I'm saying. At first glance, I'm thinking that once he's lobbed the goalkeeper, and it's my old striker's instinct, I'm watching what the keeper's done, and he's clattered them. And you're thinking, and we've said it before, if that's anywhere else in the park.
The one thing I would say is Amisa really just holds his position, John. It's not like he throws an arm or a leg out to try to bring the player down. He simply holds his position.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. Is it was one of them when you see it as well, is that how sort of mitigating do you have to be? The forward's got an opportunity. He's lobbed the keeper and he's lobbed it past the post. Then there's a collision, and you've got to say, was he going to get on the other end of it? No, it wasn't one that he was just touching over him, trying to get round him. And it's a correct decision, but we're saying that it's just that at the time I think, I tell you what, he certainly came through there.
I think it's one of those, when you see it happening in real time, your gut reaction is, whoa, it's got to be a penalty. But actually, in the cold light of day, they came to the right conclusion. As I say, there was the one earlier, absolutely nothing in that, and certainly nothing in the handball, as you identified. There was it Samuel? It might have been Chilvers, actually, whose hand was up, but the ball came nowhere near hitting his hand. So
but I think, again, we weren't sure whether they were claiming for a penalty or we felt they were claiming for the corner, because it certainly looked like the Ross County player managed to deflect it over the bar.
It did,
which was in the end was probably a great goal-saving tackle, but it didn't. You've heard ex-pros talk about players' reaction. Dalby certainly didn't do that. Stevenson was adamant, obviously, because I think to hide his embarrassment that he's missed the chance. He's kind of lying on the floor saying, well, he did clatter me, and look, it's a bit of bang. But the last one, when you seen the players, they weren't claiming for a handball. They weren't putting their hands against the hand saying, it's a handball. They were all pointing to the corner flag, and as I said, it wasn't given. But listen, it's been that kind of game. We've said it, you've called the stats here, very, very little between the sides. They've both had spells on top where they had a wee bit. United started the sharper, then County had a wee spell, and then United got back on top again, then County got back on top. But when I say on top, momentum rather than dominating. Neither side's dominated. The better players on the park have been defenders. Selvje, sorry for pronunciation. This is the first time I've seen the lad. He's been excellent for United. He's put himself about. He's headed balls away. He's put tackles in. Him and Ross Graham have been very solid, as has the whole United back four. And County are the same at the back. It's just, they say there's been one real outstanding opportunity for either side. Couple of half chances, Chilvers at the edge of the box, and I think it was Stevenson who smacked one over, or might have been Docherty, smacked one over from about 20 yards. That's been about it, really. Nobody's really opened up anything, and as I say, it's not been vintage football that's played through to create chances. One long ball for United got Stevenson in, a long throw in created Samuel's chance, and that's the kind of game it looks as if it's going to be if both teams continue to defend like they're doing, unfortunately we could end up with a 0-0. But as you know, Richard, up here,
can change
all
very
the drama comes in the last 15 minutes plus stoppage time. If you go back to your facts and
absolutely.
figures, you'll
Totally.
find the majority of the stuff is when it tends to happen.
It's astonishing how many games have completely flipped on their heads in Dingwall. As you say, the one real bit, I mean, yes, Stevenson, but certainly the big chance for Samuel. But actually, it's really good goalkeeping by Jack Walton, because he's alert. He gets across his line quickly after the flick by Lapata, and he's there. He kind of almost gives Samuel nothing to aim at, and he gets his body in the way and blocks it out, and that's why we are sitting at 0-0. And I guess it's a scoreline right now that will suit Motherwell, St Mirren, Hearts, the other sides who are looking to try to get into that top 6, because they'll feel that, well, it just keeps County a little bit behind them, and it means United don't stretch away from them, albeit there are just 2 games left. But it's I mean, it's going to be fascinating, and you can see that it's going to mean an awful lot to either of these sides if they can get that winning goal in the second half.
The 3 points to either side is huge, Richard, as I've already said. And first of all, it's the home side, Ross County. It takes them out of the relegation battle, in my opinion, and really opens up a potential top 6 tilt, because they've got Aberdeen here at home, which was a really tight game earlier on in the season. Aberdeen scored really late on, and County missed a penalty, and then they've got St Mirren. So they'll look at and think, we've got an opportunity there. Maybe if we win today, 4 points might be enough to get us into the top 6. Motherwell will hope that it stays the same, because it gives them a chance. The real winners, as I said to Paul in the first half, there would be St Mirren, because if this stays 1-1, 0-0, sorry, St Mirren, a big win which helped the goal difference a little bit, and got them up there into 7th place. They'll be sitting looking at thinking, I tell you what, we've got a couple of tasty wee fixtures as well, that they'll look to think, well, we can win them. Then so
they away to Dundee, then at home to Ross County.
So they'll look at that and think, 4 points out of that might be enough. You've got Hearts, who have Dundee United at home, and Motherwell away, I think. So they'll be looking at thinking, aye, we'll fancy our chance. 4 points from us might be just enough to get us there as well. I'd say so. The 3 points today is huge, as I say, for Dundee United in particular. It cements top 6. That's the big aim for them, is they can take all that equation and let Hearts, St Mirren, and Motherwell battle out who gets the last top 6 place there. But a draw opens it right open, wide open, for everybody. A County win just adds another bit to the scenario, because then you'd have County, Motherwell, St Mirren sitting right on the tail of Hearts, who are sitting right on the tail of United. And then it's one thing's for sure, the next couple of weeks we're going to have great drama and great stories on BBC Sports Sound.
Yeah, and actually that final weekend before the split, it's Aberdeen, Rangers, Hibernian, Dundee, so that shouldn't actually have a bearing. Well, it won't have a bearing, will it, in terms of the top 6. So actually all the action will be 3 o'clock on Saturday, April the 12th. Dundee United, St Johnstone, Motherwell, Hearts, St Mirren, Ross County. And that is going to be a hell of an afternoon for all mics, you've got to say.
Absolutely.
And it'll be one of those, you'd imagine, where it kind of swings, and for a few minutes one team's in, then another team's in. Anyway, that's to come. There's still plenty this afternoon, and this could well have a big bearing on the well, it will have a bearing in some way, shape or form on the outcome of the campaign. Do you anticipate changes to either side at half time, John?
No, Ross County have been fairly consistent. Don Cowie tends to take both these front men off, and obviously they've got Jordan White, they've got Ronan Hale on the bench, young George Robertson as well that can come on in a forward area there. So that's kind of it. And you'd also anticipate possibly he normally takes off one of his midfield players, whether Noah Kenny comes on or Jack Greaves in the middle of the pitch to replace. It's normally not Conor Randall, it's maybe Nesbitt, sometimes it's Chilvers. So they've been fairly consistent in that respect. He'll not mess with his back five, very rarely changes his back five. It will depend on midfield, and certainly strikers will come off. Both will come off at some stage unless they go behind. He'll sometimes go 3 up top, but he's got 3 to bring on. United, as I said earlier on, Richard, they'll be hoping that nothing happens to their back 4, because apart from Sam Cleo Harding on the bench. They've got nothing else. Alan Campbell is a midfield player. The rest are all forwards in some shape and form. 3 of them are strikers, or 4 of them are strikers, 2 of them are wingers. So United have plenty firepower to bring on. If Jim Goodwin sees it that way and wants to freshen up his front men, he has literally no real options at the back. So I think they may go a bit further into the game before they decide what, maybe it ain't broke, don't fix it attitude from Jim, saying, I'm not going to tinker with it as long as it stays at 0-0, or if we go ahead. And the one thing for United is, if they do go ahead, Richard, it's not really like they've got the personnel to come in and say, well, we'll shore up, we'll take what we've got and do the famous Derek McInnes and we'll manage the game to see it out. Because as I say, I don't, apart from freshening up the front men, there's no real way they can change much elsewhere. So they'll be hoping that their back four stay intact. Their midfield men will continue. Sibbald and Docherty in particular will sit in there and look after them, and then let the other 4 get in front, because the 4 in front of them, they could certainly switch all 4 completely.
Remember, Sports Scene highlights tonight at 7:15 BBC Scotland channel. The Challenge Cup final is live on BBC Alpha from 4:10. That is Queen's Park against Livingston. The team's back out, so let's see how the next 45 minutes are going to pan out. It is goalless between Ross County and Dundee United. The second half live on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland with John Robertson and Paul Mitchell.
Thanks, Richard. Dundee United unbeaten in both this season against Ross County. Ross County won back-to-back meetings to end the 22-23 season in May. The match in February of 2023, Ross County's biggest win against Dundee United was 4-0. It was 11th against 12. That day, United remained bottom. Changed days though at the moment. Dundee United looking for the top 6, will likely clinch it with a win. Ross County haven't given up their hopes there either, and they're 8 points better off this season than last season after 30 games. Last season they only took 4 points after the split, but they're trying to avoid finishing again, as Richard mentioned at the start of the programme, for the 3rd consecutive season in the playoff position. Underway at the start of the second half. Ross County the home side, the navy jerseys, white shorts, red socks, coming from right to left. Dundee United in possibly the smartest away kit that there is in the Scottish Premiership this season. The white jerseys with the tangerine trim, the tangerine shorts and the white socks. Long from Amisa. Alex Samuel will be offside. Graham knew exactly that. The flag of Andy Milne on the far side goes up. So Dundee United, the visitors, with Jack Walton in goal. It's Straint, Chevergia, Graham and Ferry. Stevenson, Sibbald and Docherty, the midfield 3. Travanowski and Middleton have been switching wings, and Sam Dalby, Dundee United's top goal scorer, the man going through the middle. Ryan Strain plays the ball forward, headed away well by Tompkinson, up to the halfway line, picked up by Alex Samuel, Welshman from Neath, always looking for the ball, turns, plays it back onto Connor Randall. Randall plays it out wide. Here's the opportunity for Wright. Wright plays the ball back to the halfway line, and all the way back it comes. Tompkinson back to Amisa, and Amisa has a little look, plays up, Son comes back out the start of the second half. Forward it goes. Graham hits it over the halfway line. Lucas Stevenson tries to gather. Tompkinson plays it forward. I thought Graham may have connected with Phillips before he got the ball, but the ball's gone out of play. It's going to be a throw-in, and that throw-in goes the way of the home side, Ross County. Well, last 6 games, won 3, lost 3. The last draw came on the 25th of January. Burns night against Hibs, that finished 1 apiece. 3 points would mean so much for them today, given the results elsewhere in the league yesterday. Here's the opportunity for Dundee United to win the ball back from the throw. They've done so. Ball played back onto Stevenson. Stevenson on the angle, looking for Middleton. Drops over there to Campbell. Campbell got a touch. Comes back onto Middleton. Middleton drives it against him. The ball's not gone out of play just yet. Eventually it does so in Dundee United. Well, the first corner of the second half.
Good counter-attack. Yeah, that was a great ball from Docherty there. You thought, is it going to get across? Campbell stretched. Couldn't quite get to it the first time, but he more than made up for it. He galloped after the ball and made sure there was no immediate threat to the goal.
Middleton's going to take the corner off to our right hand side. The referee spotted some pushing and pulling, just having a little warning. Oh, we've got effectively the eye in the sky with VAR, so nothing gets missed from these things. Got to be very careful in the pushing and the pulling. Middleton comes in, delivers. Sam Dalby goes up and heads the ball wide, and it's going to be a goal kick, and Dundee United make nothing of the set play.
No, it's a decent area. Dalby just gets far too much on it. He's really caught up with the meat of his forehead there and knocked it right over, knocked it out of the stadium. But it's one, you just want a wee flick here. If you're beyond that front post, it's just a little glance you want on it. Just a, glance it on or glance it towards goal. You just got too much on it.
Scored in 12 games this season, Sam Dalby. All singles apart from a double against St Mirren. Long from the goalkeeper, breaks past Samuel, flicked up by Harman. Harman sends it long outside the box, left hand side, and Phillips brings it under control. Ryan Strain does well to nick the ball off him, and Ross Graham plays it away. Campbell trying to get the chest on the ball, but Dalby steps in front of him and just sends a speculative ball over the halfway line. Christian Trapanovsky will chase, but Akil Wright was always going to be there first. Play the ball back to his goalkeeper, who slides the ball out onto Tompkinson. Tompkinson has a little look, gets the ball played back inside to him. Now sends it long, looking for Phillips. Severje wins the header over the halfway line. It goes on to Stevenson. Stevenson can't get there. It's hooked away by Connor Randall. This bit goes in, slides and almost kept the ball in. Couldn't do so. It goes out of play. A little bit untidy to start the second half.
Yeah, it's frantic. As I said before, neither team wants to give anything away. Both managers have said, look, stay strong and let our front men get on with it and see if they can get that little bit magic. And so that it's just like a boxing match really. They're just jabbing at each other. Nobody can land out the knockout blow just yet.
Middleton tried to play it through for Stevenson inside the area. Good header away, but it'll come back onto Trapanovsky. Trapanovsky plays it out wide onto Will Ferry. Ferry level with the penalty box, tries to get it in past this, but can't do so. It's blocked by the Australian. Goes out of play, and Will Ferry will settle for the long throw. So up from the back comes Ross Graham, under 21 international, 4 goals this term. Last of those coming against Hibs in February. And he's certainly a hard presence to miss inside the box. It's gone short though. To Trapanovsky, back onto Ferry. Ferry rolls the ball from under his foot. Into middle it goes, headed by Chivers. Breaks down to the edge of the box. Onto Glenn Middleton. Dropped for the volley, but it was well off target. Well off to the right-hand side and no threat to Jordan Amissa's goal.
Half chance at best. It's this time United have mixed up, gone short. Ferry's put a speculative ball in there. It's well headed, clear, and you're thinking, go on in, have a hit. And bizarrely, this time he didn't try to shift on his left. It's fallen on his right, and he skewed it well wide. No pressure at all. So County come away.
Well, we've seen some great goals this weekend. He was in perfect position to try to add to them, but didn't do so, as Ryan Strain does well not to take out the camera that was right in front of him. Ball was out of play, and it's a throw-in retrieved by Jordan Amissa. And now it's going to be the chance for Eli Campbell to take it. A 10th consecutive start for Eli Campbell. Has the ball back on his left foot, flicks it down the side onto George Harman. A little bit short. Middleton almost got away. Campbell was strong enough, flicks it out wide. Chilvers plays it back inside. Harman gets away from Strain and then played it on the outside, but Chilvers hadn't made the run. And the pass easily picked up by Severje. Severje over the halfway line it goes. Lopato wins the header, breaks down. Harman slides in there to win it. Chilvers tries to go in. Docherty knocks it and then says to Strain, you take that. Back on the inside, on to Sybil. Sun out, no goals so far in Dingwall. Trapanovsky tries to get the better of Tompkinson. Tompkinson just eases into him, and the ball is out of play. The flag is up on that far side. It's going to be a throw in. 0-0 so far in Dingwall. We've played 6.5 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, it's more of the same. Both teams put plenty of effort in. There's absolutely no doubt about that. They're leaving nothing out there. They're getting stuck in. It's all about personal battles, and nobody's really. You'd have to say the centre halves are on top of the strikers at the moment. Everybody else on the pitch very, very even. So that's why we're at 0-0. That's why, as Richard said, chances have been at a premium so far, but still plenty of time to go. Plenty of opportunities for both sides to get back into this game and grab that vital goal, which would mean huge ramifications for both sides.
Well, the top six always exciting. 2 games to go after this one today to decide who will race for Europe and who will try and avoid the relegation battle and the relegation playoffs. St Johnstone has been cut adrift slightly. Lost at Hibernian yesterday. Ball is out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. And Campbell comes in, throws up towards the halfway line. Strain gets the header away. Fell down to Connor Randall, hooked forward. Severje over a halfway line. Connor Randall flicks it down. Still Looking for a good few passes to be strung together. That's a loose one from Sibbald. Nisbet almost got on the end of it. Ferry did well to recover. Plays it down the line. He's given the ball away. Gets it back again. Ferry was taken out, but Travanowski has the ball and can bring it forward. Referee allowing advantage. Plays it across onto Middleton. Forces Middleton to go backwards. Now sends the ball off onto Ryan Strain. Strain back on the inside, through the middle, onto Ross Docherty. Should be able to open that up for Ferry. Does so. Ferry has a little look, steadies himself. Ball into the box, awkward bounce. Stevenson brought it down, but there wasn't a follow-up from Travanowski. And County clear it back onto Graham. Graham up to the edge of the Ross County penalty area. Headed away by Randall. Randall gets it on. There's a suspicion of handball from Phillips. The referee is happy, and Dundee United try and break. The ball comes out wide onto Middleton. Middleton back on the inside. Phillips has lost the boot, so he's on the ground. Long angle ball. It's a beautiful ball. Travanowski inside the area. Tries to step away from Tompkinson. Opens up right footed shot. Good block. And Chilvers is there. Chilvers plays the ball away. It's Connor Randall who made the block. Phillips is still trying to get his boot on and eventually gets himself back up. I think you should do that when your team's got the ball.
Yeah, that's the ideal aspect of it there. But a wonderful diagonal pass. Oh,
that goes down in the area.
He's right. Referee's right again.
Yeah, he jumped. Will Ferry and Tompkinson, and there is going to be a card. You go with your gut reaction, and I tell you what, Jonathan Tompkinson just did a little look down and said, "You've done what?"
It's the same, because it came on the back of a half chance here. A great switch ball from Docherty, and then it was a rifle shot from Trapanowski, which was blocked. But Ferry is absolutely livid here. He's claiming that it was brought down, but Tompkins just stood still and basically, as we were saying here, this time he just ran into him, and instigated the contact. Tompkinson gave him that look of disdain, as if to say, really? Honestly?
That ain't happening. Definitely not. 55 minutes gone. Jordan stands inside his area. Got both his hands pointing downwards, just saying, let's calm it down before I play this one forward. Referee Steve McLean blows the whistle. The action underway again. Phillips rises. Shirley again, good with the header. Stevenson over the halfway line. Comes down to Campbell. Flicked on by Chilvers. A lot of clever flicks and things, but they're not making the incisive passes at the moment. Here comes Ferry. Ferry over the halfway line, getting the boos from the home support. Lays it off onto Craig Sibbald. Sibbald drives his way through. Plays it back onto Ross Docherty. Docherty quickly onto Ryan Strain. Strain with a cross into the area. Dalby gets the head flick on. Lopata was stretching there. Ferry in there as well. There's a little head flick away by Chilvers at the edge of the area. Was really, really difficult. Now the ball gets played long. Alex Samuel heads it out wide onto Phillips. It's 2 against 2 at the back. There's a third player coming for Dundee United, trying to get back with it's Phillips into the area. Still going up in the edge of the 6-yard box. Chevalier gets a touch. Comes back again. Harmon's going to clip it in, looking for a man at the back post. It's Akil Wright. Wright brings the ball down, but loses out onto Travanowski, who sends the ball out of play.
Good counter-attack. County's first real break in the second half there. Then, to be fair, Chevalier again held them up really well, because Phillips had a 1v1, trying to get past him there, but just held them up, kept them going, forced them back. Good ball at the back post again. But this time at the other side, Trapanowski defended well, but they've left it in an area where the dreaded long throw is coming in again. So they're going to have to defend it.
Eli Campbell gets ready to take it. Only one team has scored in the last 6 games that Ross County have played into the opening goal. Obviously vital here. Eli Campbell stretches himself out, now launches the ball long. It's high in the air. Dalby and Graham go for it. Breaks down. Nisbet tried to find it, but it was knocked out the area. Alex Samuel from Hartman inside the area, blocked by Chevalier. He's having a great game. Now it comes on to George Harman. Harman turns, spins. Jack Walton watches it, has to come and fist the ball away. He was under great pressure. Headed back down again by Campbell and away, but the referee spotted a little push on that far side. Well, the goalkeeper, interesting. He looked at it, John. He thought about catching it, thought not a chance.
Well, the aspect of that game, good work. It's a great battle between Chevalier and Alex Samuel. They're really giving everything, and nobody's winning that battle. Probably Chevalier just on top, but Alex Samuel's got there and they put a ball in there. And I think Walton's done well, because he's had a quick look and he's seen Lapata's coming in, Tompkinson's coming in, Phillips is coming in. He's thinking, if I try and catch this, I'm going to get clattered by these boys. So it's, he's come early, he's made the decision early, he's punched it well. A good command of his box there.
Jack Walton plays the ball away down that left-hand side, just goes in behind Trafanowski, and Akil Wright trying to let the ball run out of play. That's precisely what it's done. He'll flick it across, and Jordan Amisa will gather. Changes starting to come because Jim Goodwin's down below. It's basically said 2 minutes, and I think we're going to see Louis Moult. Ross County 2 are going to make changes as well. Interesting to note that Ross County have got their 2 top scorers on the bench, Ronan Hale with 12 goals, Jordan White on 10, so the change is going to come. Like John, you and Richard talked about that at half-time, that they would make that change. Certainly.
Yeah, his changes have been consistent. As I said, it's normally midfield men and the strikers that he very, very rarely, unless there's an injury or somebody's carrying one. Harman a couple of times this season's come off, but it's generally a couple of midfield players. Greaves normally comes on, and in that area in particular, but today it'll be White and Hale will come on at some stage for Samuel. Phillips has been quiet today. Samuel does what it says in the tin. He'll get stuck in, but as I said, we will see at some stage Hale and White, I'd imagine, and along with Greaves.
Getting ready to come on. Kieran Phillips got the winner against Kilmarnock last time out at home. Been a little bit quiet today, as John says. Now Dundee United play the ball down that left-hand side, under control, trying to get the ball into the boxers Ferry, but repelled again by Akil Wright. It's been a good old battle. He's still got the ball, and Wright again wins it, and Nisbet gets away from Sybil. Sybil thought about putting his arm out, thought the better of it, and now Josh Nisbet over the halfway line. Alex Samuel says, played in behind me onto Chilvers. Conor Randall's making a run on the left-hand side, goes back out wide onto Nisbet. Nisbet with the ball into the middle, looking for Randall, and again Ryan Strain wins the header, gets the ball away, played back to him by Middleton. Middleton sends it back, Strain sends it high in there, Chilvers sends it up to the edge of the area, Chivergi gets it away, Lapata centre circle for the home side, turns the ball back onto Tonkinson, and now there's a little bit of space for Akil Wright. Akil Wright moves forward down that right hand side, ball into the middle, too high, Phillips can't get there, the ball's going to drift away and might hit the corner flag. It wasn't too far away from it.
Yeah, see, teams are beginning to tired. I've got to say, Craig Sibbald looked, Nisbet ran away from him there, and it looked like Sibbald was carrying an injury. I'm not sure if he'll be the one that comes off, but he struggled to get back there. Nisbet just got further and further and further away from him.
I think it's number 10 coming off now. Chilvers couldn't quite see the red on the board. It is 10 and 11 that are being withdrawn. It's 14 and 9. So Jack Graves comes on, Ronan Hale comes on, being withdrawn. Kieran Phillips and Noah Chilvers, the 2 players taken off. So Phillips and Chilvers have done their job. Alex Samuel will now be up front with Ronan Hale. Dundee United looking to make their change. Lee Moult comes forward, and the board holds up. Number 14, it is Craig Sibbald. That's no great surprise, John.
No, just that bit at the end there. I'm wondering if he had an injury, or if has he been playing recently, because he looked. Nisbet ran away from him, and you're thinking on a heavyish pitch over the far side, he'll get back to him, but he just kept getting further and further and further and further away. I wonder if he's maybe tweaked a hamstring or maybe a calf or something there, but it certainly looked. It did look, as if he was struggling to get back, and he's been replaced. So, United have gone 4-4-2, which is an attacking aspect for them. They said there's not got that many, apart from Campbell, not that many changes in midfield. County consistent, I've said before. Don will tell you that aspect of it. It's a striker off, striker on, and Greaves has come on for Chilvers. So, as I said, I'd imagine at some stage Alex Samuel, unless County really go for it, Alex Samuel may be replaced by the likes of Jordan White or George Robertson to come forward. See, United, again, it could possibly freshen up in the wider areas. It looks like they've gone to a 4-2-3-1, kind of 4-4-2. They've got lads that can come on and freshen it up there. Certainly can't do anything about the back, that's for sure, but so far they've not needed to. They've been very resolute indeed.
Brian Strain plays it forward. Lapata under pressure, falls awkwardly. He's fallen badly, and it might require some treatment. Just to answer your Craig Sibbald, just a 4th game back, just a second start after a long, lengthy absence. As Lapata certainly stretched, and he's going to slowly get back to his feet.
That would explain it, because I said he's put in a power of work today. Craig Sibbald and Rostock in the middle of the park, they've really covered a lot of ground, and it is although it looks magnificent, see over the far side in particular, it's still a very, very soft pitch, and the fact that he's not long back from injury, that will understand a good hour of the game at this level and this intensity and pace. He's done very well, but it just looked like he was struggling there.
Docherty plays it inside onto Ferry. The ball drops down at the edge of the 6-yard box, and somehow Ross County get it clear. It wasn't too easy, and then knocked out of play. Docherty tries to cut across. The substitute Jack Graves, on loan from Watford, is now the former Wimbledon player. And the ball is out of play. Still 0-0. BBC Radio Scotland on a Sunday afternoon. 63 minutes gone. Ross County 0, Dundee United 0. Will there be additions to the 24 goals we witnessed in the Scottish Premiership this weekend? I was lucky enough to do Dundee Rangers yesterday. That was just a wild ride. Ball came back. Now on to Jack Walton. Walton sends the ball forward. Greaves, little backheader onto his captain. Comes right down the middle. Gets the ball to Alex Samuel. Samuel plays it out wide. Nisbet is there. Tries to get the ball back across. Hits it into Ferry. Gathers it again. Did Ferry clip him? No, he went down. Got himself back up right away. They're still battling for the ball. And Dundee United will get the throw on that far side.
I think that little cameo sums up the game. You know, no quarter asked, no quarter given. They're getting tackled in there. They're firing in there. They're desperate to win the ball. Desperate to get their own team an advantage, and it's just it's mano a mano out there. But it's a tight game. But going back to your game yesterday, Paul, in a gale force, when monsoon conditions, it was a game we didn't want to finish. Watching it, I was like, wow. And listening to it, you're thinking, God, just keep going. That's the one thing you want. 15 minutes of injury time to be played, because it could have finished anything.
And it just does. Dundee United get the goal kick. It just proves what a cruel game football can be, because Dundee gave their absolute all and emerged with nothing. Rangers stuck to their task in the end.
Oh, you saw at the end, Simon Murray hits the inside of the post and Rangers go right in the park and score, and you're thinking, dearie me. And it's just the way things have been going for both teams recently. It's Rangers fans must be, every game's a roller coaster, not every week. It's every 90 minutes. They're behind and they're ahead and they're behind and all sorts of things. And Dundee have been, the last 2-3 matches have been fabulous. And on the back of a wonderful Dundee derby against today's opponents, Dundee United.
Final footnote on that 4-3. The last 4-3 between Rangers and Dundee was actually won by Dundee. Billy Dodds got the final 2 goals for Dundee to win it. And of course he was in the dugout yesterday for Rangers. Ball out of play here. There's 0-0. Ryan Strain throws the ball forward. Header by Lopata. Out of play it comes. Fourth official lets it go over his head because the ball's been thrown in already. It's by Strain. Strain into Dalby. Dalby into Trapanovsky up at the end of the box, trying to hit it against Tonkinson. It's away by Nisbet. Nisbet though can't link with Samuel. It's picked up by Ferry. Ferry now ball into the middle. Lopata repels it again. Stevenson wins the header. Sends it out wide onto Ryan Strain. Strain, that's a lovely ball into the box. If there was somebody coming in from that left-hand side, there is. It's Middleton. Middleton plays the ball back, but he cannot link with Ross Docherty. It's played away. It's almost bounced back. There's a poor clearance by Nisbet that time. Broke off right and then just cleared by Tonkinson. Ball is bouncing around up by the halfway line. Well, that looked like it could have been a free kick, although Stevenson was leaning in there. No, says the referee. The ball bounces over the halfway line. Alex Samuel tries to hold off Chevalier. Chevalier got a touch on it. Ryan Strain gets the ball away, closed down by Alex Greaves. Turn back again, right down the middle. Chevalier again gets the header across. Dalby comes in behind Tompkinson, wins the header. Ball can't get there. It's picked up brilliantly by Campbell. Campbell launches it long, taken down by Ronan Hale. First meaningful touch, 30 yards from goal. Hale looks across, plays the ball with the outside of the boot, looking for Greaves. The 2 substitutes trying to combine. Greaves back into the middle. Hale, 20 yards from goal, tries to go through Stevenson. Stevenson wins that, brings the ball away. Jack Greaves tries to set him up but couldn't do so. Now Dundee United emerge with the ball. Trapanovsky rather played it behind Middleton, ruining his chance of moving forwards. He has to touch it back onto Will Ferry. Ferry inside his own half, plays it across onto Docherty. Docherty onto this near side, onto Ryan Strain. 22nd start of the season for the right fullback. Strain does a little touch and turn, lays the ball back over the halfway line. Chevalier is there. You can see the softness of the pitch, and when the players have been sliding, these Dundee United jerseys getting slightly muddy as the ball gets played forward. Dalby saying that was the wrong ball. All they could do is hit it straight into the path of Jordan Arisap, and that's where it's gone.
Yeah, it's just more of the same. No, the thing is that sometimes you can bemoan a lack of quality from the back, but the forwards in each team are putting so much effort in to close the opposition defenders, and they're not giving them any time on the ball whatsoever. So it's difficult for the defenders to get their head up and put any real ball into an area where they think, well, what they're doing is they're playing the safe ball. I'll knock it in the channel and we can battle for it there, and we can get the next one, rather than can I pick somebody out? They're not getting the time to do that. But getting back to your fourth division, I'm going to give him a bit of stick. Duncan Nicholson there, he's obviously not taking tips from his younger sibling Lewis, who's a rather imposing left centre back for Inverness Cullen Thistle, who's recovering from injury, because he'd have headed it back there, but his big brother got out of the way very quickly.
He was having nothing to do with that one.
Nothing to do with it.
0-0. Ross County and Dundee United serving up the excitement on a Sunday afternoon. Here's Ferry. Ferry plays the ball out wide to Middleton. He's now on the left-hand side. Middleton steps across, plays it off right, goes behind. Corner kick goes the way of Dundee United.
I think this might help United a little bit. I think Jim Goodwin's changes now that you got, we've seen them, Trapanovsky. Middleton's now on his natural side, left-hand side. You've got two big strikers in there, Moult and Dalby. So, Trapanovsky's not cutting in on his left, from the left foot onto his right foot for a shot, and the same with Middleton now. They can actually go down the line and go, you know what, I'm putting this in there, putting it in there. I've now got two big guys to go in there and attack it. So, in terms of an attacking process here, it might help Dundee United.
Got the opportunity with the in-swinging corner. Dundee United are going to make another change. Corner comes in, the in-swing, a chance, Graham! If he got a touch on it, it was certainly not enough. It glanced off his head, bounced down and bounced wide. If he'd been a couple of millimetres closer in, he would have billeted that in the net.
He should have built in the net. That's the problem, Paul. That should be the opening goal. There's no doubt about that. We can praise Walton for being big and strong and making sure that Samuel didn't score first half, and Amisa putting pressure on Stevenson, but that should be a goal. He's 4 yards, 5 yards out, and he's glanced it. That's the one. Just put your head through it, get your neck muscles through that, and it's 1-0 Dundee United. But he's just kind of, we call it a tortoise head a wee bit there. He's put his head in a little bit, let it hit him rather than put it over. That is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for Dundee United.
Players had to stop. Lopana went up, but he's been hit. There's a head knock there, so the referees had to stop things to allow the Ross County physios on. Rudy Payton is preparing to come on for Dundee United. There's no doubt Lopata got a head knock there, so they will check him, and that's exactly what Stephen Plain, the referee, is saying. He could see it wasn't just somebody claiming that they had their head hit. It was clear from where the referee was. We could see it as well.
Yeah, it's one that frustrates the fans, because sometimes you can see it, somebody's gone up for a header and there's been no real contact to a certain degree, and they've gone down, the referee stopped, play on, you play on. But that one, it was clear, there was definite contact with the head, and Steve McLean done the right thing. Right away he just went, yep, I'll stop it. It's annoying for Dundee United. They'll be upset because they had a sort of 4-on-4 aspect of it, so they'll be annoyed, but it was the right decision. That's the rules, and it's a head knock. It's no more frustrating than one that players are getting cute now, where you see it in virtually every game. Cross comes in, especially late in the match, defender heads it away, goes down, referee blows, gives them the ball back, and it's they're starting to work out in certain scenarios where it can work. But that was a straightforward, another good call from Steve McLean, who has had, as we've said, he's had a terrific afternoon. He really, all the four officials, apart from Duncan not heading the ball back there, have done very well.
He's not going to hear the end of that.
His brother's not going to hear the end of it.
He's not going to do that again. Jordan Amisa, as the free kick was basically planted long, ball effectively given back to Ross County. So Rudy Payton is on. Where's 21? Rudy Payton still looking for his first Dundee United goal. One from Port Vale. Now sent long by Amisa. All these players have come to the left, so the ball went to the right-hand side. Easy for Ferry to gather. Ferry now sends it down the middle. Moult trying to link up. It's a lovely ball over the top. Almost in was Payton. And good play that time by Eli Campbell to get in there, throw the ball, throw his leg at the ball and turn the ball away. That was terrific play from him, but Moult already looking dangerous. Payton was in there too.
Yeah, as I've said before, Campbell for me has been an outstanding defender, an outstanding signing for Ross County. But Moult, first time Moult's come alive, it's a good hook over his head into a great area. But Campbell got back and cleared it. But we have the long throw again.
Just coming into view again as well, Ferry. That's hit the 6-yard box. The first header is won by Ross County, the second as well, and Nisbet with the third to get it clear. Middleton might try and hook it over his shoulder. He's done so. He's sent it out wide, and Dundee United play the ball back to the halfway line. So very easily past Alex Samuel. He may not be much longer for this game as the ball gets played into the middle. Deflected header off Tompkinson, comes out wide. Here's the opportunity. Ferry lays it back. Stevenson in the middle. Ball drops down. Turned by Payton, and the goalkeeper goes down. Manages to touch his fingers onto the ball, and then it slips away from him, and he grabs it at the second attempt. That goal mouth is treacherous, and the goalkeeper did well.
It is, and you know, good first touch from Rudy Payton there. That's what he's all about. You get him in the box, he's more than likely going to hit the targets he did there. Didn't quite catch it as you'd expect, but it was enough to make sure that Amisa was kept honest, and a good save. As I said, you know, United can only put on, really, as we've said already, it's attacking players. You know, Payton's a striker, and he's ploughing the wide right channel here to help out his side.
No, Adebayo sent off against Dundee. No, Declan Gallagher, he was injured in training this week. It's young Sam Clare-Harding who's on the bench. Not too many players make their international debut for the under-19s and the under-21s within a few days of each other. There's a free kick given away.
I was watching him in the warm-up because it's a new name for me there to see. He's a big lad. He's a big, raking, athletic-looking lad. So you know he's got all the attributes certainly at the moment to do that. And well done to him. You know, as you say, it's to play for his debut 19s and then immediately get the call to step up is one thing, but to go and play again is absolutely magnificent.
Recovering too from a 2021 cruciate ligament damage, so he's had to bounce back. He's had a lot to deal with in his young career. Ross County have got something to deal with at the moment. They've turned the ball behind for a corner for Dundee United, third of the second half, and the opportunity again for the ball to be dropped in on their goalkeeper. Again, it's really busy inside that 6-yard box. Dundee United looking to deliver from the left-hand side. The ball comes in, the header is in, and Graham gets it that time. It was exactly the same as the last corner, but unlike the last time, it was a simple header, and he made it this time. Ross Graham sticks his head through it into the corner of the net. Ross County 0, Dundee United 1.
Well, they were warned. We said it's another wonderful delivery in the exact same area as you said. Tompkinson gets caught underneath it. Ross Graham gets up, and this time, no mistake. He gets those neck muscles working. He bullets the ball down from about 4 or 5 yards. You're not saving that one. And, you know, he's learned, to be fair to the kid, he's learned, because he would be distraught that he missed the chance earlier on, but he's more than made up amends, and that could be a huge goal for Dundee United.
5th goal of the season for Ross Graham. What an important goal it is, and that's going to bring about changes for Ross County. Jordan White's going to come on, and young George Robertson also. So Alex Samuel is being withdrawn as we expected that to happen. So Jordan White is on. Ranu's been on loans at Nairn, and Clare-Curran with his debut against Dundee United back in August. George Robertson is on.
Very quick player. He's just a young lad. He's been out on loan at Wick earlier on this season as well, and they're saying that he surprised me because I'd seen him playing in the Highland League, and I'm thinking, yeah, he's got a lot of power, a lot of pace, but he's going to have to work on his game. He's touched it, but he's come into this county team, and he's always made a difference. He'll probably just slot in this left wing back area. The county might go a back four, but he's got real power and pace. But you see now, this is the Ross County aspect of it. They've got Jordan White up front now. They've got Ronan Hale. They've got Ronan Hale up front now. You know, you've got George Robinson. There's 3 in a row right away that are capable of getting there. Greaves will get forward. So they're throwing a bit at it now, and this is where United will have to hang tough, because they've got the goal, as I say, that cements their top 6 place. And say it keeps United looking slightly over their shoulder, but County slightly over their shoulder, but what a huge goal that is.
Well, a carbon copy of the previous corner, as John Robertson said. County had to be warned by the first one. There was a flare thrown on the pitch, that's why there was a delayed restart. It wasn't a question of whether the goal would stand or not. That was fairly obvious. Greaves plays it out wide, gets the ball back outside the box, right hand side, plays it into the middle. Stevenson with a diving header, gets it outside the box. Conor Randall, the skipper, picks up, left hand side, turns, plays it back inside. Here's Campbell sends it across. The opportunity to play it back, Lopata is there. Tompkinson sends it down the side. Dundee United have read that though, and Ferry brings it away. They are striding forward. Ferry over the halfway line, plays it, looking for Dalby. Dalby inside the box. Lopata is with him. Dalby holds up Three inside the box for Dundee United, in addition to Sam Dalby, who's just holding on, trying to find a way to get a pass. Lays it back to Middleton, but Nisbet was in there quickly and now can get things moving. Gets the ball across. Graves will play it across. There's Robertson. Robertson moves forward. He does have pace. Stevenson comes back. It's a free kick. He took the man first. Ball second. And it's a yellow card as well. He's
No.
little unlucky with a yellow for me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a foul. He's made an honest attempt to get there. Robinson just touched it, no more. It's not, he's not bringing him down in an area where it's causing any problems. It's not a cynical foul. It's just an honest attempt to get to the ball. It's a wee bit harsh on Stevenson there, but that's Robertson. He'll get the ball and he'll run it, yeah, and he just, he's young, enthusiastic, and he'll cause problems.
Well, they've come back against Kilmarnock and Dundee this season to take all 3 points of Ross County, but they're behind by 1-0. Graves, not quite sure what that was. He hit it off Payton. I think he was trying to slide it down the channel, but there was nobody there, and he's lucky the ball goes out of play and actually a throw-in level with the penalty box. Robertson plays the ball back onto Conor Randall. Everybody had stayed forward for Ross County. It's gathered by Tompkinson. Tompkinson plays the ball back on the inside again. Conor Randall. Dundee United have dropped most players back. Now Graves plays it to Mill again. He hits Rory Payton. Not sure if he can't see him or not. I'm not sure. Here comes Ryan Strain coming over the halfway line. Strain immediately holds up, runs into trouble. Not being unkind to Ryan Strain, but if that had been a forward, he was off. I think he realised, didn't fancy it. And quite right at 1-0 up. Ball gets played forward.
I think his manager didn't fancy it. He's right back charging forward. I think Jim Goodwin would be saying, hang on, hey, where are you going? But no, I think Graves twice, one from a dead ball, one from cross. He's tried to drill the ball. He's really tried to hit a flat, drilled cross, but just put it in there. He got pick Jordan White, etc. Just throw a bit of air in it that they can go and attack it. That's what will upset Don Covey. But this will suit United now. Their back four will sit. Their two central midfield players will sit now, and then they'll let the front four get on with it and see if they can nick the second goal that would put this game to bed.
Long ball on the angle. Graham wins the header, drops down. Louis Moult was in there, blocked and away. Jordan White was tracking back. The ball runs out of play. 3 wins in 2025 for Dundee United, all by a single goal. They lead here by 1-0. They are going to make another change. Lee Sharp just yelling down somebody to come back on round. The opportunity for the throw. Ryan Strain has a little look, sends it down the side. Robertson knocks the ball out of play. It's Alan Campbell who's going to come on. I think he's been a good pickup. I really liked him at Motherwell. Alan Campbell didn't perhaps kick on with Luton as much as he would like. He's with Dundee United on loan and has got the chance to come on and make an impact in this game. They lead by 1-0. Will Ferry getting ready to take the throw. Ferry level with the penalty box. He's side leading by 1-0. Throws that in, looking for Graham. Came back off Campbell. It comes into Ferry inside the area. Chips the ball across. Chance fell for Payton. Stevenson plays it out. A brilliant effort from Moe, and somehow that's kept out off the line. That was terrific football from Dundee United, and they were so close to a second goal.
What a clearance from Campbell. Oh, I mean, the first chance drops to Payton, and you're thinking, go on, put your foot through it. And then it drops again to Middleton, and he smashes it past the keeper. No chance. You're thinking 2-0. Somehow Eli Campbell has got back there and hooked it off the line. That's an incredible let-off for County. Brilliant defending, but Glenn Middleton must have thought that was another goal, and the game was over.
So many bodies in that area. Just expected the ball to hit the back of the net. In comes the corner. It's shorter that time. Headed away by Conor Randall. Second ball in. Better headed away by Lopata. It drops down. Stevenson tries to get in there. There's an opportunity. It was a shout for handball against Dalby. It's gone behind. It's going to be a goal kick. There must have been 15 players around that ball.
They're battling for everything, as you can understand. So it's one of those ones that's thrown in. Surprisingly, it was a flatter ball. You think the last two corners have gone deep, and the big man's got on the end of both of them, and you're thinking, no, surely just let Ross Graham go and attack it a third time. But it nearly ended up with the game, but still getting over. What an incredible clearance that was from Campbell, and that could just about, well, has just kept his team in it.
So changes are going to come. The fourth official holding things up. James Brown is there. The referee is just checking there was so much going on in that area, the ball bouncing it about, but there was nothing, no problem at all. So Gus Nisbet is off, and on comes James Brown. So Campbell has a little word, and it might be moving the system as well. He's speaking to Lopata. Go to a 4 at the back. Campbell will come out and play left fullback. So it'll be Wright, Tomkinson, Lopata and Campbell. Free kick given in the midfield, taken down. Well, it was a fairly easy free kick for the referee, to be honest. And the yellow card comes out for Jordan White as well. It's just again, a little bit late.
I'm not sure. You know what I mean? That's the ones we've talked about before there. It's two big lads going for the ball. There didn't seem to be a leading, a flying elbow or a flying arm. You know, when you're jumping as a forward, you've got to throw your arms up to get leverage, and that's when the centre halves can sometimes get caught. But it didn't look overly bad, but you know, again, we're at the wrong angle to see it, and again, Steve McLean's standing looking at it, so it's not like he's 5 yards away, so he can see absolutely everything there. So he was convinced it was a yellow card, and you know, Graham's getting some treatment here. But the teams have matched up now. You saw the caginess is gone. Both teams are playing 4-4-2. You know, Payton and Middleton are holding the wide areas with Dalby and Moult down the middle, and for County now, you've got Jordan White and Ronan Hale, the two top goal scorers down the middle. Brown's come on wide right, Robinson's wide left, and they'll throw balls forward as well. But you can see what Jordan White's saying there. There's no malice in it. Steve McLean's not having anything of what his excuse is for it is. But I didn't, as I say, we're at the wrong angle. It didn't seem particularly malicious, but as I say, Steve McLean once more is in the perfect position.
Because Stevenson is replaced by Alan Campbell. Well, you and Richard were right at half-time. You never want to leave this ground early. Stuff always happens towards the end. 7 minutes to play. Ross County 0, Dundee United 1. Dundee United winning at Tannadice 3-0 earlier on this season. That was the biggest win against Ross County since 2016. In the last 6 meetings, in 4 of them, one side has had to score 3 or more to win the game. So far, it's just 1 goal between them. Campbell hooks the ball forward. Ross Graham was the goal scorer. As Ferry brings the ball down, falls down onto Graham. Graham strokes it forward onto Dalby. Dalby off to Moult. Moult out wide onto Payton. Dundee United look dangerous. Brilliant ball across. Great header from Dalby. In fact, too straight. Jordan White comes across and gathers. I thought he was going to go across the goalkeeper. He went for the near post.
If he goes across, he scores. If he heads it back where it's come from, but you say he's stretching to get there. It's a wonderful ball from Payton, and Dalby stretching there. And if he can just get, again, the strong neck muscles to knock it back where it's come from, I think he scores. But he's got a good header on it, but it's straight at Jordan Mason. And again, you know, that's one real good opportunity and an incredible goal line clearance. You're thinking, you know, County are hanging in there. It's the script is written. You know, they've scored so many late goals. I mean, the big one was they were 2-0 down and they scored the 96th and 97th minute against Hearts to grab a point. So this team will not give up, and the fans will not leave because they know that there's always drama here.
So Ross County, well, goals have been a problem. Failed to score in 12 of 30 as Jack Walton slips as he gets the goal kick away. Immediately pounced on by White. White onto Hale. Hale will move it forward onto Brown. Randall on the overlap. So too is Akil Wright. Wright will take it to the byline. Tries to cut it back. He'll win a corner. In fact, no, it came back off him. I thought he'd gone out as the ball had hit him, but he was still in. Bounced off the chest, and it goes behind.
Double ricochet there. Savelji again, magnificent defending. He's had a really good game, and United, they know what's on the line now. They are now fighting for guaranteed top 6, and they know that if they can see this out, they're there. And that's what's shown. You know, they've just kept fighting away. They've had the clearer chances. We've said that. You know, Stevenson first half lobbed over the bar, then the Graham header he should have scored before he repeats the act, and then the Dalby header there. You know, Ross County have had really only the Alex Samuel chance has been the main opportunity they've had. They've not really created a lot in the second half.
It's been impressive at Dundee United this season. Never in the bottom half of the table. Won 11, drawn 8, lost 11. But always done just enough to beat 6 or more. And looking to make that official. Robertson wins the ball, gets it on to Jordan White. White takes touch, gets away from Campbell, tried to nutmeg Doherty. Doherty blocked the ball, it comes to Greaves. Greaves plays the ball forward. Hale has to go round Savelji, puts some pressure on Graham. Graham hooks the ball away up towards the halfway line. Ross Doherty never looks particularly hurried. Plays the ball back onto Ryan Strain. Strain plays the ball forward, comes back towards Doherty. Blocked by Greaves, comes down to Moult. Moult, lovely flick to Campbell. Payton brings the ball down. Campbell and Moult are looking good, so too are Payton, but Robson's just robbed him. Challenging to come back. Louis Moult acknowledges his problem. Ball out of play, 4 minutes to play.
Yeah, they're working hard, United. As you're saying, Doherty is very impressive in there. He just never looks ruffled, and in situations like this in particular, when you need a cool head, you know, when the teams, you know, they know that County are going to come back here, you know what's going to go on, and he's just calming things down and knocking things about there. But that was a bit naughty from Ronan Hale. Yeah, if Steve McLean must at least yellow card him here, because he just booted him.
Well, basically what happened was the ball was running away. It was going to be clear, but Hale was being blocked off by Graham. He'd got to be somewhere, and allowed to be somewhere, and he just got frustration, got the better of Conor Randall, saying that the path, well, Graham deliberately checked and ran into his path.
But this is the aspect here, is that you've seen Lucas Stevenson make an honest attempt to get the ball and gets a yellow card. Ronan Hale's just booted him. That to me is a yellow card. You know, I mean, it's frustration, and I understand why he's frustrated, because they're never really, the fullback's never really making an attempt to play the ball. He's just blocking you off. But you can't just kick an opponent. If you're Lucas Stevenson, you're saying, well, hold on a minute here. I made a legitimate effort to get the ball, and I caught up just a little late, but it was an honest effort. It was a foul. But you yellow card me, and yet the opposition centre forward just smashes at our fullback, and he gets away with a warning.
It's all about where you are, what you see, and your interpretation of it. Cheveldi and Graham both back on their feet. Cheveldi will be asked to go off the field for a moment, but again, just Dundee United will get the opportunity to launch the ball forward. Referee Steve McLean just points to his watch to say, I have noticed there will be time added on. Dundee United have only 2 reverses after they've opened the scoring. They've lost twice to Hibs and Rangers, both since January. Remember, they were 2-0 up against Aberdeen in the last away match and failed to see that out, again for their first away win since they beat St Mirren. Long ball forward by Dundee United, falls out wide onto Payton. Payton on the inside. Conor Randall tried to get there. He's managed to get the ball, plays on to Brown. Brown sends it out wide onto that right hand side. Ronan Hale. Will Ferry comes across to him. Hale gathers level of the penalty box outside. The box tries to drill the ball across, hit it straight off Ferry. It goes behind, but it is going to be a throw. And again, Eli Campbell's coming all the way from the left back position, and it's been taken quickly, really without his consent. Now the ball gets played long into the middle. Header flick back across, taken down by Hale. He fell to the ground himself. There was 1 or 2 shouts for a penalty. He was offside anyway. Certainly there was nothing in that. Well, you can see that Tomkinson is complaining to the referee, but there was nothing in that. So it's an offside call.
Yeah, the offside's the first one, and they may well have. It looks like somebody stood in the back of his boot, the back of his Achilles there, which again, you know, had he not been offside, it would have been a question for the referee and the VAR officials, but he's offside, and so that just wipes everything out of it. And you know, Walton's doing what the keepers do. He's bringing another ball on. Now he'll throw it off. The referee knows what's going on, so I'm sure we'll get a fairly hefty chunk. I think at least 5, possibly 6, because Walton's in no hurry whatsoever.
He's still got the ball under his arm. The referee's saying, hold on a minute. We've got 7 additional minutes. 7 still to go. Well, that's plenty of time for more goals. The referee is just checking, and again he's putting his hand to the ears to say he's corner over Conor Randall, just to have a little word with him.
The other aspect here is if he's not offside and somebody has stood in his Achilles, but I don't think so. I think the linesman again called it very early, very quickly.
So no particular issue on that occasion. VAR doing their job once more. Greg Aitkins had a busy old afternoon. Dundee United leading here by 1-0. The final match of the weekend on BBC Radio Scotland, the top flight Scottish Premiership. Hale brings the ball down centre circle. Savelli just thumps the ball clear into the stand opposite us. At the time for niceties are over. You just want to make sure that nobody's coming through on you. The 7 minutes of additional time have begun as Dundee United clear as Ross County play it forward. Dalby brings it down. Greaves tries to get there, might break out for Middleton. Middleton tried to find a way through. Alan Campbell brings the ball down, but Middleton actually robs off his toes, plays it to Ferry, sends the ball forward. Great centre forward play by Dalby, brings it down on the chest, send it out wide onto Louis Moult. Moult trying to go past Jack Greaves. Greaves does enough to shepherd the ball out of play for a throw-in. You can see Dundee United just slowing things down when they can, John.
Yeah, we've said before, you know, it's a classic of now managing the game. They've done the hard work by getting in front. Now it's about seeing the game out, because they know this cements top six. So that's what you see now is they've brought Campbell on there to sit in there with Ross Docherty. The two wide men will work hard. Payton and Middleton will work hard, and they'll just leave the strikers up there. And even that, you know, like say Louis Moult has just dropped in that little bit. He's left Dalby up front, further up on his own. So it's a question now of seeing the game out. You know, they've got probably around about 5.5, maybe 6 minutes to get them there, and you know they know what's coming now. County are just going to launch everything forward.
Graham up there ahead of White. White was wanting the free kick. Referee said no. Launched forward again towards Jordan White. Robson brought the ball down with a header, but he's given it away to Docherty. Docherty will gather, send it wide. He sent it too long though, and the goalkeeper Jordan Amisa will come and gather. And I wonder if he'll think about going route one here. A little bounce of the ball, which suggests he will. Stretches back, launches the ball. It goes from our view, drops back into view. And White wins the header, then goes down. Robson tries to gather. He gets the header in there as well. Ferry up the edge of his own box. Akil Wright just eases away. Middleton can get the ball out wide onto James Brown, but he's facing the wrong way and plays it back over the halfway line. Tomkinson has a little look. Tomkinson plays it forward. Lapato was fouled at the edge of the area. I mean, it was clear, but it wasn't spotted. One of the few misses from the officials this afternoon. And now Rudy Payton over the halfway line can take the ball away. He holds the ball up, plays it back inside onto Alan Campbell. Campbell moving forward. Swapped the orange of Luton for the tangerine of Dundee United. Plays the ball to Payton. Payton inside to Docherty. Docherty with a little twist and turn, trying to get away from White. Plays it back again, and Dundee United are going to take their time. They will attack, but they are not in a hurry. Play the ball down the side. Moult flicks it up and plays it off Eli Campbell, and it is going to be a throw into Dundee United.
Yeah, that's where United want it. They've got it. You know, they're showing their experience. Alan Campbell and Ross Docherty there. Ross Docherty again, slowing the game down really well and just keeping the ball, keeping possession. Take it in the corner flag now. You know, they don't need to do anything. They've just got to be patient and be professional.
Dundee United will go into 44 points if they can win this one. Well, they've won the ball in the corner, they've flicked it off, and it is going to be a corner kick, which they'll be in absolutely no hurry to take and just try and see this one out. Currently, St Mirren and Motherwell both with 38 points, Ross County on 35. But this will be a good day for Dundee and for Kilmarnock. It keeps Ross County within shouting distance at the bottom of the table. Corner kick to come. Dundee United have got nobody inside the penalty box. We've got two players down beside the ball. It's Moult and Middleton, and Ross County trying to dig it in to win it. The ball is out, and it will be a goal kick. Dundee United quite rightly not interested.
No, as I say, they don't need to do anything. They just let the two strikers go on with it. I think County have now thrown Lapata up top alongside Jordan White. They're standing right next to her, which seems a bit strange. It's a terrible kick from Amisa. Straight out of the park here. They just launched the two lads up front. It's Hail Mary time now. They've just gone back to three at the back. It's basically a 3-2-5 now. They're just throwing bodies forward as much as they can. But say United just walk about, just slow the clock down, just see it out.
And they'll move forward again, flicked on by Dalby, almost into the area, cleared by Tomkinson. Tomkinson gets the ball away, down onto Brown. Brown onto Conor Randall. He's under pressure, does well in the midfield. Conor Randall now tries to get the attack moving, sends it long. Robson tries to go in there. Chevelgi absolutely melts the ball, but sends it backwards. Strain brings it under control and hits it into Robson. Robson can't get after it, and it is going to be a goal kick. Well, Dundee United perhaps got a little bit lucky there.
They did. I mean, Chevelgi first he's just trying to smash out the stadium, and he's completely miscued it, and I thought Ryan Strain would probably just knock it out first time for a throw-in, but he's took an unbelievable touch, and as it's dropped, he's flicked it off the Ross County forward there to knock it out for a by kick, and much to the delight of the United fans behind that goal there, who absolutely went crazy, and Ryan just gave them a wee wave to take their accolades on it. But as I say, they're just seeing it out. Ross County really haven't done anything in the second half to has Jack Walton had a save?
No. I can confidently say that. Here's Middleton. He had the one punch under pressure, but you would expect your goalkeeper to get it. It's been given away by Rice onto Moult. Moult into the middle. I thought he could have driven on himself. He had Payton and Dalby there waiting for a tap in, but it's bundled behind. It's going to be a corner kick to Dundee United, who are finishing on top of this one.
He's
1-0.
He's unlucky there, actually, because he does brilliant first and foremost to cut the ball out. He drives into the box there. He's too wide to have a shot, and he's got first Rory Payton in the middle of the goals, and then Dalby's made a run to the back, so he's tried to pick it out, just fire it across the goal there. He's knocked out for a corner in, and again Jim Goodwin will be happy. It's where they need it to be.
And again, Dundee United had nobody inside the box. Moult now makes the run, trying to create a little bit of space, but Ross County aren't back far enough. Middleton and Dalby. Now the problem you've got is you don't want to get the ball kicked off you. You've got to try and find a way to get it through, and they're battling for it. Wright is there, and he tries, but it is going to be a touch, but the referee decides to look at his watch. It is all over. The 7 additional minutes have been played. Ross County fall to Dundee United. It's a simple goal. It came from Ross Graham, a header at the back post, and that was enough for Dundee United. They've all but confirmed a place in the top 6. They came back into the top flight this season, having won the championship, and they have made their mark in the Scottish Premiership this season. Delight for Dundee United, disappointment for Ross County. It's finished Ross County 0, Dundee United 1.